Friday night fix is ready, here we go. Watch me scramble to complete a 3-hour show. We'll talk about life, so what's on your mind? Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We'll talk about lives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate.
Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharpened, Friday night.
Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide.
The craft with steady flow, steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show.
Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. Karambit steel, every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked and they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist.
Got the Scully in the house, it get cold in here. Open up the pack, crack open the beer. No fear, no tears, got the old 10 gears. Knew you been around, ain't been home in years. Had a hard day's work, it was easy for me. Javon, the beat hit easy to me. We talk about knives, it was EDC. Just the first 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you all been told it could get weird. So you high on cigarettes? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Javon's Night Flicks, baby. Friday Night Flicks, baby. The first ever episode, we are getting it cracking like we
went out because we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke them, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch you once witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch you once witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch you once witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong?
What is up, guys? I hope y'all are here and can hear me. I got news for you and for Joe Isabella. I just was walking around the house this afternoon and I found 2 boxes that have not been sent out. Javon has dropped the ball, people. I also found a box that came back from Miguel EDC for brother Jason Grant that I need to send to Cole, Tri-State EDC. So after the live tonight, I will be printing labels. But guys, y'all's stuff is in the mail. Marco is in the house. What is up, Marco? And we got Andrew, Lucky Dog Knife Company channel member. What is up, buddy? Good to see you and happy Friday, everybody. We got Sire Shop in the house. What is up, channel member? Good to see you, young lady. Your name is green because you have not been made a, hold on a second. I had not made you a moderator yet, so now you can share links and you should turn blue. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Susan. I dox every time. Dang, I got to get better at that. Richard Hopkins, the Roman Gnome. What is up, brother? Good evening. Good evening. We got some knives to look at tonight. Need to see if anything's left over at our buddy Waxwing Knives, who does his drops on Friday. And also our buddy Jacob at Very Good Knife Company has some drops tonight. Cool stuff out there. We'll check it out here in a second. Neil McKenzie's in the house, channel member. What is up, Neil? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see all you guys. It's been a long week. I got a story. I don't even know if I can tell it. I don't know if it's YouTube terms of service. What is up, Henry Christopher? But it's a nice story. It's a nice store story. And since it's a social experiment that I've kind of dived into here at the store, my local knife store, working part-time, I almost feel like I have to report on it. Conga Blaze, what's good, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Henry Christopher. What is up? What is up? But yeah, I had the most, how can I put it? The most unexpected customer. If you had to think of, and y'all think about this at home and feel free to discuss it amongst yourselves, but the last person you would expect to see in a knife store looking at knives for 2 hours. And I'm going to take out the looking with part. That's a giveaway. Memo's in the house. What is up, Memo? Henry's in the house. What is up, Henry? Good to see you guys. I hope we have a good night tonight. I think we'll have some cool stuff happening. Have no idea who, what, why that's going to be with, but I know I've got some stuff to talk to you about. We're going to go to Waxwing Knives here in just a second. Y'all feel free to click on that link that Richard just shared. That is Trevor's company, where all the chitlin and the nymph. So guys, this is a nymph right here, and it is one of my favorite small EDC fixed blades because it's super thin. laser beam slicey nitro V and G10, and it's under 150 bones. USA made. Amazing price. He needs to go up on his prices. Maddie ate a donut and feels tired. I know the feeling, dude. I did not eat a donut and I feel tired. I have, I'll tell you what, I stay tired. I think it's because I don't sleep much. I don't sleep regular hours. I get awake like late at night. I don't know what's going on with that. And I used to not be like that. I used to be a pretty big sleeper. But anyway, enough about me. So I'm going to start out with just hitting the nail between the head. So 2 ladies and a service dog came in today, and I thought they were just going to use the restroom. And luckily, Tate, one of the owners, was there, the young guy, and he was talking to him first. And she had a white pole with the red tip. You guys know what that means. El Cap Addict, what is up? And she was probably in her mid-20s, low 30s, and was visually impaired to the point of having a service dog, a lady that took her around, and a cane. So I don't think she could, I think her sight was diminished to the point of 0. But she's a knife person. And I'm talking everything from kitchen knives to sawback bowies to Microtex. She spent 2 hours in there with Tate. The service dog was very well behaved and slept. I didn't take any pictures. I thought that would be crossing the boundaries. Of course it would, John. So I didn't do that. But watching her not get cut and experience knives tactfully, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tactfully. Well, tactfully, yes. She was experiencing them by feeling them. I thought it was very cool. Sierra Rick, what is up? I thought it's the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. I thought it was too out of the ordinary to be anything but just banner for a Friday afternoon. It was just absolutely nuts. I get stories in there every week. And this week, it's kind of been a kind of slow week. Had a couple of interesting case buyers in there. Nope, this one wasn't Mimo. This one was a big dog as opposed to a little dog. This one was absolutely working because as soon as she stayed at one place when she got to the counter and engaged with Tate, and she was engaged. I mean, she was locked in on him, his voice and him talking about answering the questions that she had. But she even ended up buying an axe or a hatchet, a little camp axe. I have no idea what, it was just like, wow, you can't write this stuff. But it's every week. And this week had been kind of a slow week it's funny because these little knives that I'm not a big fan of, I picked one up because I saw all the hype. This is a Case Cheetah Cub. It's a knife that Case brought back this year. It's a little lockback with these swing bolsters. Hadn't been in production for a while. There's been a lot of buzz around it from the fogies and the country people that collect Case knives. I say country people. They're not really country people. They're just different, right? They're not into modern folders. So there's been a huge rush on these. And every week, today was no exception, we get about 18, 2 patterns we'll get in. When I say patterns, those are the color. Today we got green bone and some blue acrylic. And the owner, before I ever get there, puts them on his Facebook page and they sell out, right? I mean, people call right away. It's just like a drop, But then it's unparalleled that people that saw the post come in late in the afternoon and they walk up to the Case booth. They're all real standoffish. I'm like, hey, welcome into Knives and More. What can I help you cut today? I'm just looking. And I can tell when they pull up, I've curb qualified these people within a 99.8% accuracy that I can spot a Case buyer really when they turn in the parking lot, but when they step out of the car, and nothing against Case buyers, I can differentiate them from the modern knife buyers, which I think is a skill, people. But anyhow, they'll come in in the afternoon and go, no, I'm just looking. And I know what they're doing. Oh, okay. And I'll just stand there. Look, let me know if you'd like to see something or handle anything. And they'll sit there and fart ass around the case booth. And I'll just kind of stand there because I'm always listening to a podcast in my left ear or my right ear. When one AirPod goes dead, I put it back in the case and put the other one in. I have to drown out the Willie Nelson. It's not Willie Nelson because I could deal with that, but it's Willie Nelson radio that streams daily off Sirius Radio. Anyhow, so they'll eventually say, hey, where are the cheetah cubs? I was like, the cheetah cubs? And I'll act kind of like surprised where they think I don't know what I'm talking about because I've kind of been, at this point, I've tuned them out mentally. And they go, yeah, the cheetah cub. Like the case cheetah cub? She's like, yeah, the ones that dropped this morning. And he was like, yeah. I was like, those sold out like an hour after they came in. There were none left. Oh, you don't have any here in the store? Like we did. We had plenty here in the store. Well, I couldn't get over here. I was like, well, neither did the other 7 of the 9 people that bought them. They had them mailed to them. If you pay $12.95 and you call in, you can have them mailed to you. And they're just always, then they're angry. Then they're going to act like they're going to look around and they're going to try to ask you questions about shit. And it's just, to me, I can identify with the modern knife buyer, Spyderco buyer, ProTech buyer, Microtech buyer, even though Microtech buyers are a little on the odd side. If they're just Microtech buyers, that's a whole nother segment that's going to be in my paper when I write it. But it was interesting. Had a young guy come in today specifically looking for Magna Cut. We have 4 Bark Rivers and 1 Marble, which was the knife company Mike Stewart participated in that went under before Bark River. And not one person that's come in has mentioned anything. I've had 2 people look at them. I thought one was going to sell today. And it may sell tomorrow. The Bravo is a nice knife, even though God knows what it's made out of. Seen a lot of content. I won't beat a dead horse because I'm sure y'all have too. What's up, Double D Blades? Paul Mills, what is up? Who else have I missed? As I've just gone off on my rant. But yeah, very odd day, an odd week at the knife store. I'm glad I have a couple days away. It sucks. The new Boker Atlas. Boker Atlas. I know they've got several series. Are you talking about this, Maddie, or is this something different? I'm sure I'm probably going off on a tangent that has, it looks like a big knife. Well, it's only 6.54 inches. That's a slip joint, though. And Maddie, you're not a slip joint guy, are you? I didn't think Maddie was a slip joint guy. I'll tell you what I don't take out of my pocket. And I've got several slip joints. I picked up another Great Eastern Cutlery. I think I showed y'all last week. I picked this up. I traded. I forgot I've got a little slip joint case now. That sucks. I'd gotten all the way out, but I'm really just moving knives around. So I picked that up. That's a little bull rider. From Great Eastern Cutlery, like a side buster. Canvas micarta, and I'm around both these knives. And when these drop, they cost about maybe 10% more than a case of similar build quality. Because some cases can get up in the hundreds, but these on the resale market take off, right? They double almost instantly. Well, so do cases. Most of the cases that we sell are sold to resellers. But the slip joint that I carry every day, I also traded for this. I traded a Freedom Pill dispenser for this knife. This is a Great Eastern Cutlery number 47 Viper that I just think super, super sexy. I've always liked that knife. I've always liked that blade shape. Most of my slip joints have that blade shape. But back to my point, The only one I've been carrying, and they're still available, I know DLT has a couple, I think, is my American Blade Works slip joint. There's no need for me to have any other slip joint. This thing's 158 bucks. Got amazing walk and talk. And instead of being stainless steel or carbon steel 1095 in Grady's and Cutlery's case, God knows what in case, this is MagnaCut and titanium. And yes, I know it's modern, but it's hollow ground, actually super sharp. And it's made by a small business, one dude, Michael Martin. And I'm a huge fan. I see a lot of these in the store. People, this little knife, I think, is probably, and I say this without knowing anything about Michael's business, but I would say this is probably his most popular knife. I see it more in the wild. I see it more out, but I love it. And then today, I carried my Fred. I carry this almost every day. I try to carry one day a week something I'm testing, because once I've put it in my back pocket, I can do most of the stuff that I'm going to do with it. Open boxes, cut cardboard. At home, I just want to make sure that I can sit on it all day and it's going to feel good. And this little knife in Terry sheath, you can even look at it sideways. It's got the little Javon ass curve in it. Digging my fret. I've got something I thought we'd unbox that came today from Concept. I don't know what that is yet. They've changed their packaging to go to a more eco-friendly packaging, I guess. They used to have the big boxes, as you guys know. I don't think there are a lot of people that physically display these knives. I think they're mostly sold online, but it makes sense because they take up less space. And you've got the same stuff, the little wipey cloth, ships with some bubble wrap, the knife's probably in, and it's got a little foam thing that they put over here, depending on how big the knife is. Let's see what we got here. We've got a nettle that is designed by Derek Sharon, I think. That could be wrong. I could be reading that wrong. But you still got all your swag and stuff in here. Comes in a little bag. And then they always double bag shit. I don't know why they do that. So I have no idea what this knife's going to cost. I'm thinking it's going to be a budget knife. I say budget. It's aluminum and I think 154. Allegedly. I think now we have to say allegedly when we're talking about any blade steels. But this is the nettle. I thought it looked cool. It's a front flipper, but it's got a fuller. And I'm betting you can flip that fuller. I've not tried it yet. We're about to. I don't like front flippers, so if it's a front flipper only, I'll be able to open it, but that doesn't mean I'll enjoy opening it. It's the liner lock, aluminum handle. Let's see. Yeah. It middle finger flicks like money. I missed it that time. I guess I've got to find the fuller and then flick the fuller. But that is a mid-size, we'll call it a bug out size knife. I like the blade shape when I saw it, when I saw pictures of it. So I reached out to see if I could review one. Now I have a feeling, looking at that clip and that textured aluminum, I'm thinking that's probably, or is that G10? That's aluminum. I'm thinking that's probably going to be a pocket shredder. I could be wrong. But I think it's a pretty cool looking knife. I'm curious to see how much it's going to cost. I'm thinking it'll be well under $100. I just don't know how much. I wouldn't think 154 in aluminum would carry that much of a premium. I've got a couple of really sweet, interesting Kaisers that I can't show until April 1st. I can give you a sneak peek of one. My favorite one. I do. I try to read comments. I get caught up. Kevin Smith Knives, what's up? Joe Isabella, what is up? Let me go up. Let me get back to the comments. Let's just go up here and get in the comments, see what's happening. Okay. Usually I've got a co-pilot. Hopefully Kyle will come by in a little while and he'll run this thing for me. I saw an axe handle, Mimo. We had a Tequila Sunrise axe handle and we had a green axe handle. It's a bigger knife than I would have thought. For me, it's a little big on the slip joint side. I have bigger ones, but it is a cool looking knife. It looks like a lock back where there should be a lock back, but there's no lock there. Richard, good for you. Dude, you are slipping, but you got a good collection started. Let's take a peek over here at Very Good Knife Company and see what's happening in the store. I'm going to tell y'all, the one that I got that Jacob was kind enough to send to me, the Pocket Doc, this little guy, $180 a Nitro V. It's 6.4 inches. It is a gorgeous knife. This Tradition Junior, he's got a lot of good knives on here. And it looks like with his little CNC machine, his drops are getting bigger. Now, here's a bougie one. This is one of his signature series. So this one's got a carbon fiber, fat carbon, black camo handle that makes it more expensive. Because he does do some bougie handles. And this eagle is huge. This thing is like, I mean, the blade is 6.875. Overall is 12.5. That's over a foot of 80 CRV2. That's a big biatch. The Tradition Junior, in fact, carbon fiber. That knife has a very interesting grind, a little taller here at the front. But I'll share this is the Pocket Doc. And it is sit in your back pocket approved for me. I've been sitting on this knife. I really dig it. It's thin. It's slicey. You know, a lot of Jacob's designs are very traditionally inspired. He does some lineman knives, some splicers, some just different knives from the past. And I don't know what the inspiration of this little spade blade is, but it's a nice one. I'm really enjoying it. And again, it's my size knife. It's a little guy. About 1.5 inches bigger than a little guy, the Minnow. This is one of Creeley Blades, Gary Creeley's little knives, his smallest knife. And this one's in Magna Cut. I want to get one eventually in Magnamax. I've ordered one of his bigger knives, the Mako. That's probably his most popular knife. It's about, I want to say 7 inches, maybe 6.5. Looks very similar to this. It is also in Magna Cut. And that's the cool thing, in my opinion, about Gary is he's doing a lot of the same thing that Shane's doing on a more, not sophisticated, but a larger level. And he's more plugged in to some of the people like Laren that he tests for and the people up in Pennsylvania, you know, that are making knives. So he's definitely chasing steel. I don't know if y'all checked his site out, but he kind of talks about his passion, what drives him and his business philosophy. And it's pretty cool. Every day there's a special knife. There's always one, man. And I've learned that about even people coming in during my social experiment. Case will be something like 420 HC for stainless. You're right. I think you're exactly right, Mimo. And again, I have no complaint with either of the case knives that I bought. This was the first one I bought. This Slimline Trapper. I like a single blade knife. I'm weird that way, but this is a Slimline, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a Warncliffe, but it came very dull and it's stainless. But it was very easy because it's hollow ground to get it sharp. And again, every knife, which are only two that I've purchased from Knives and More, have been great. But I know that every knife that he puts out, John puts out, has already been unwrapped, looked at, and they passed his internal quality control. So he calls through them when they come in, you know, to make sure they're good. I have only one, and I'll tell you this. That's one of the things that I wasn't going to talk about because I don't think it has really any positive purpose. I just find it interesting that this went on for so long, allegedly, because there's one guy I've been watching bits and pieces of videos, and one guy who was testing a Bark River MagnaCut like 4.5 years ago and had it spectrometered, and it didn't have enough carbon or something in it to be MagnaCut. And he called them on it, and they discredited him. But this wasn't something that had just happened. But I just wonder what that says for me using a knife. This could probably be pot metal. And I haven't sharpened it yet because it's a convex. So I've not put this on a stone. It's supposed to be 3V, which is one of their ones that Erica says would chip out on her after cutting cardboard. This is the Micro Canadian, by the way. But we've got a great test selection down at Knives and More. We've got two Bravo 1s, which is their big 3V beaters, huge knives. And then we've got a CPM 154, allegedly, Essential 2, and then we've got a MagnaCut, allegedly, other one. So I would say, Maddie, yes. If you're supporting someone who's selling it, and I don't know what DLT's doing with theirs, how they're all going to handle it, or there's a video, and I wasn't going to spend any time on it tonight. I could put together a show where I just share fascinating videos. There's an attorney knife guy who did a whole video. Y'all might have seen it. He talks about all the crimes that he broke and that he won't do any time, probably because they're all white collar crimes. But there were a lot of both federal and state laws broken that are not just civil. And what nailed it shut was his admission. And then, the fact that he said, we tested this steel from China and it performed almost as well. Should have never said that, because that shows that you're premeditating counterfeiting a USA product with a hostile trade partner's product. It's just a nasty, nasty thing. And there are other videos that make a lot of sense too. What do we as a knife community have outside of trusting the people that would make our knives? The fact that the people that they're buying from, Crucible, is selling Crucible steel. I say that because there was a video that talked about, we don't really know, Crucible is a big company and they were failing. Were they always up and up on their steel? How deep could this go? Because I think this shook people so much that it was one of those things where they say, where does this stop? How much does the knife buyer, the USA knife buyer, actually need to know? And that's scary, because I always collect steels because I like the thought of having the steel. Am I going to get the usage out of it? Probably not. Not like it's designed to perform, but that doesn't mean that I won't pay for it because I want to have it in my collection. Kind of like I like it, right? We like what we like. But I like to think that we can trust, those small makers. And like Shane said, get your steel from reputable resellers. Because I didn't realize how much knife steel is on Amazon. You can go to Amazon right now and buy CPM 154 little knife making sticks, allegedly. But, you know, like with this Bark River thing, whatever steel they were using from China had similar properties so that it wouldn't be easily detected as not being CPM 154. Because several of these videos say CPM 154, although popular, is a very mid range steel. It's not one that's hard to come up with an inferior product and have it perform as well. MagnaCut on the other side, on the other hand, is a little bit harder because people are going to expect, a little bit more from MagnaCut. Now, there are videos that have been showing up on my feed since I've dived in and watched a few that are old videos where people are complaining about bad Bark River steel 5 years ago, guys. Again, Gary thinks, like I thought, and several others thought, that this is probably something where he eventually got cut off, because he wasn't able to pay his suppliers or whatever. But it could have been that at some point he started slipping that in. I don't know. And is he alone? No, it's not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. Kind of sucks. I mean, it really does suck. Because I like my little Bark River Micro Canadian. And I like the Bark River knives that are down at Knives and More. The fit and finish on all the ones we have are good. They're all first productions. They look really cool. But I wouldn't touch one. They're 250 and 350. One of them's got Mokume on it, on the bolster. Are y'all about to get on the road again, brother? Yeah, man. Do all the getting it in line before you get old as you can. But old is a state of mind as long as you stay healthy and don't hurt yourself. I wish I could remember the knife that Tate, the guy I worked with, bought. I saw a really cool custom today, a small custom, but it was, wow, was it a sweet knife. Very sweet knife. Oh, absolutely, Mimo. The name, what I'm saying is the Bark River name is tainted forever. But I would still think that if you're going to just use your knife as a bank, it's not worth what they were selling them for. But like Maddie said, if he can find some on the cheap and the knife fits his need case, I've seen videos of them not being great. I've not seen any just these are terrible. That's Mimo, but I don't know if that's necessarily that's a lot of the videos talk about different knives they had problems with. These are like bushcraft reviewers, people that I'm not even aware of their channels till the algorithm picked up that I was interested in Bark River knives because I'd been watching their content. And there are a lot of models that aren't mentioned in their list. And then I also got a video on, because we've been talking about this during one of the lives, but what was it? Montana Knife Company? Is that the big one? The one that supposedly raided some bitch-made people and do some other shady stuff. They just moved into a huge new facility. Really nice facility. And you wonder, you would think that there's so much transparency. For example, I wouldn't think the U.S. Steel, I would think the steel guys that are going out selling steel, they know the contacts. They're not that many. It's not that broad because I've been in sales my whole life, whether it's been advertising sales or whether it's been kitchen and bath sales where we sold high-end cabinets. But you've got the same contacts in the industry where everybody knows what the big people are doing because you see them at trade shows. But when, like Gary said, when these guys don't participate in trade shows, it makes you wonder, are there people in the, industry that know that they've had bad dealings with them? And I would think that people would speak up to other, I would think if things were starting to go bad, that the suppliers, people that got wind of it would be very vocal about it. I wouldn't think they'd be anything Yeah, there's got to be others, Kevin Smith. That's what I'm saying. But there are plenty, in Erica EDC, who I'm not a big fan of, but she's got some really good points. There's so many good makers out there. All you got to do is find them. And there are easy ways to get referrals. There are easy ways if you don't know, like Boat Ride. I mean, there's so many good makers out there. Granted, they've got to have the faith that the steel that they're buying is the steel that they're buying, which I think in most cases that is. But my brain goes conspiracy theory sometimes, and it makes me think. Let me check this out. Oh hell! Oh hell no! There it is. Yeah, no. Sorry guys. Let me see if I can share this. See what we got here. Ooh. Ooh. That is a sexy beast. And I know that thing's a beast. Where have I seen that, Maddie? I've seen this knife. And do you have one of these? I've seen this in somebody's hand. Because this is a big boy. Look at that. Warhawk Customs. Oh, here we go. Yeah. 10 inches to the butt. That's a 10-inch beast. That is a beast. Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't realize he was that old. He's like 75 years old. And the bad thing is, and I haven't dug into this because to be honest with you, it just got depressing and I didn't want to really dig into it. But the son who wants to be in the knife business has come out talking about how he's going to honor all the, and he's going to start a new company. And it just seems like, take a vacation for a while. If you're going to, I don't know. Hey, Kathleen, it's just, I don't. Oh, that's what the concept. That's where I've seen it, Maddie. Thank you. I do see that whiskey business on YouTube, whisker business on YouTube. Cats playing music. I wonder if those are the shorts I see. I haven't checked it out, but I definitely will, Sierra Rick. I love the ones where the cat. I see them on Instagram. I think where it's nighttime and it's the cat will bust in either on the porch and be playing music or shooting guns and waking up the people that live there. Both of mine. And Puck's gone full feral on me again. He'll come in and he'll eat and then he'll attack me. It's getting weird. I'm just like, do I even want him hanging around? It's almost like he had a trip to the pet cemetery. I live right across the street from a legit cemetery. So, yeah, get me 3 o'clock in the morning when he's meowing outside. I'm thinking, do I want to let this little predator in? The thing is, doesn't SC only use 1095? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so because Mimo, the thing that's so shocking to me is I would think when you get to that level in the industry, legacy is important. I don't know if y'all were here, but I wasn't aware with how many knives they sold each year. But evidently it was a whole bunch because Gary threw out some numbers that he knew and we just ran some math and it came out to like 9 million gross a year in sales. At an average price that was lower than their average price. I don't think I think you can run a successful, healthy business on the up and up, and I don't think it's worth criminal charges. I don't think it's worth losing everything. I just can't imagine things. I can't imagine making that determination of being a good choice in any scenario. I just don't get it. But the more you dig or the more you listen to some of these videos, this ain't his first rodeo. I mean, Chat GPT, and I probably need to switch over to Claude, but Chat GPT gives a whole story about the companies that he was involved in before one of them, he allegedly was the whistleblower because they were using Chinese parts. But does that make sense? I mean, you got White River, you got Tops, you got a lot of big companies. But again, think about it, guys. If you've got big companies, you've got good employees. You've got exposure because Tops is all over Blade Show. They're there in a big way. I would think the people at Niagara know them by name, right? They're delivering X amount of steel to them probably weekly. I think it's rare, but it makes you wonder, right? Where I wondered is on a bigger level, like when Crucible, before they went bankrupt, before they liquidated and were bought up, chopped up and bought up, were they buying Chinese steel for the last year and a half, 2 years, and selling it as CPM, S90V, CPM? I don't know. You know, I wouldn't think so, but it seems to me like that would be an easier cover up because they're like the top of the chain than some of these smaller guys that have a lot of people looking down on them. I don't know. To me, it's made me wonder. But it goes back to nobody picked up on it based on real use cases. Several reviewers did that were testing the knives to, you know, they were getting shipping and things like that. You know, I wouldn't trust, I'd have a hard time, but I feel really bad because one of the things he says, and you can't trust him, but in his statement is he's fully exonerating his son and wife. You know, there was a lot of conversation about did the employees have any role to play or any complicity? Should they have said anything? And I think that's a real fine line. I think when you work somewhere, you go to work at a knife company and then you realize something's not as it's supposed to be, but that's your livelihood. Your family depends on it. I don't know. I couldn't work there. But I can't make judgment on people because I don't know how much or when they knew what they knew. I mean, evidently they knew something because somebody in the plant was stamping the shit. To me, it's just wild. It makes me feel dirty. It's just, you're exactly right. And I think the people that sell 1095 can kind of do math in their head based on how many blades they sell it's legitimately sourced. What I wonder is where's the 1095 coming from? You know. But you never know. Yeah, they were grinding off China markings and remarketing, so they definitely knew. And was that a bunch of employees or was that one guy that maybe worked off site before it came to the main plant? See, those are the type of logistic things. Like you could have it shipped to a shipping receiving building where 2 guys work that all they do is that. And then it gets shipped, which I don't think they'd pay the cost to ship it twice, but who knows, man? I don't know how you pull that off. Yeah, and they've both put big disclaimers on their website. When you go to DLT and click on the Bark River link, it talks about, now they're still giving limited information. They're talking about the models that are affected being based on what Mike Stewart, the owner or ex-owner, said was affected, and he has zero credibility. So as far as I'm concerned, every one of them's affected, not just these. So you go to Bark River Knives and you come to this whole thing. I'll drop the link in the chat so y'all can go read it if you're interested. If you're not, you don't have to. But it basically says which 5 models of the affected models. DLT only sold the following. So of the affected is what Mike Stewart, admitted liar, thief, fraudulent player in the game, claims were switched out, which to me and to you guys, let's look at this just logically. All right, I'm going to risk my legacy. I've determined that I'm going to walk on the dark side and I'm going to mislabel steal from another country to only 5 models of my knives. The other most of them, I'm going to do above the board. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That would be too hard to logistically manage. If he was doing it to some, you might as well assume that he was doing it to all. I'd almost guarantee that. I can't imagine that, especially if it was because he could no longer get said materials. Yeah, there's so many, Mimo. And once the Instagram or the YouTube algorithm knows you're interested in them, you'll get served up a lot. And what's sad is a lot of them are these small reviewers that use the knives that point out valid questions or valid concerns, and they get on more than one video I saw kind of verbally accosted in their comment section, which is why I don't read my comments, but by Bark River protectors, fanboys, sweepers, whatever you want to call them. People that are just loyal to a flaw. It's unfortunate. It'll blow over. There's so many good makers out there. I think that's what it comes down to. Is maybe now people won't be as hung up on the big guy. They'll look at more of these, boutique makers, smaller makers. Because if you look at the cost, especially for something like a Bark River Benchmade, the only reason I throw Benchmade in there is they're almost as expensive as some custom or some semi-customs. I looked at a ZT that we've got that I really like. It's an automatic. It's about $25 less than a Hinderer. And I just like, wow, how can this be? And I can't get behind that. Even though it's USA made, it's a thin little MagnaCut automatic that should be $300 because that's what ProTech sells it for. So I don't get it. I think all we can do as consumers is be, wise, get referrals from friends, use companies that you at least feel, because we'll never be 100% on our radar, but that you feel good about. I always felt fine about Bark River. A lot of that was because I felt good about DLT selling them, but it just goes back to like when Hoback was being carried by USA made blades and found out his knives weren't all made here. USA made blades, Whitty didn't know. Why should I hold DLT responsible? It's just it's unfortunate that their DLT, I think, has some not liability. They've got some just cause against Bark River, because a lot of people probably bought Bark River based on its association with a dealer like DLT, a retailer that treats people very, very well. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was talking about a different one, though. I wasn't talking about the Hinderer one. Let me show you the ZT I was talking about, because it's a very cool knife. I really like this knife, and I think I can get it in a non-DLC coated. Don't think that I will, because it is expensive, but it's a gorgeous automatic, slim gentleman's MagnaCut. Let me find it. Automatic. This guy right here. Very non-Hinderer. It's the 0556. It's that little guy. 384 doll hairs, which maybe that's not quite $25, but that's carbon fiber and aluminum. Is it aluminum? MagnaCut, PVA, titanium handle. All right, so it's got titanium. But yeah, it's a little thin knife. Hey, Christopher Hinckley. I wasn't thinking so either, but there's some videos. There's one in particular on a guy who has rust issues with his MagnaCut 4 years ago, a reviewer. was having rust issues with his MagnaCut, and MagnaCut's supposed to be stainless as all get out. And he wasn't doing anything. He was taken back by it. He did not think it was MagnaCut, so he tested it with a spectrometer, and it did not have this enough of this element to be even close to MagnaCut. So there's that. Yeah, mine baptism, I paid $425 plus tax. Then I always I'll save up and I'll buy the scale if I can. So I get $625 in my hinderers. Because all of them, with the exception of a couple, my clips was 4.25 in G10. And then I bought a scale down the road in my XM18. Probably my favorite was 4.25. I even forget the color of the scale. I always pick them based on the lock side because I just like a full tie hinder. I don't know why. It makes them a lot more expensive. But I've got the liner and the G10 scale. And the good thing about that is if you ever sell them, people are going to want the scale, even if it's not the same person. You can always sell a hinder scale. Yeah, true. Is it 450? I thought it was. Hold on a second. Let's look. Let's go to DLT. I think it's 4.25. Let's go hinder XM18. All right. Let's just do this. Hinder. Let's go to Rick Hinder knives. That's 3.25. I don't want the 3.25. All right, Scott. Well, those are black. Let's see. Here's one for $425. There are some that are the prices are kind of all around that four. Here's one for 4.25 in MagnaCut. Here's one for $465 in Battle Black. I know Battle Black's a little more. Most of them are 4.25. But you add the scale, the tie scale, that's $200. If you add a hardware kit like my Eclipse has, because I'm an idiot, and when I worked, I had a lot of disposable income. But like a hardware clip or kit with a clip is $112. And the little tabs, like right here, that they sell at Blade Show, the little commemorative ones and the commemorative clips can be very expensive. So their aftermarket, the 4.25 is a very reasonable price for a USA made knife. I don't think all of their accessories are priced reasonably, but I think a lot of people, me included, buy them because we've got more at the time disposable income than sense, and we want to customize something. Even my little half track, I put a Lynch clip on it and a tie scale, and it doesn't need a tie scale. It makes it heavier, but it makes me carry it more. Oh yeah. If you get the Walnut 1095, that's their what do they call that? They call that something series. I forget what series they call it. Hey Gary.
How's it going?
Man, it's going well. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Sure.
I hear you. Can you hear us? I don't think Gary can hear us.
Microphone.
Check. Let's see what Gary's got. Uh-oh.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I hear you.
Wave if you can hear me. Huh.
You can't hear us?
I can't hear you. I don't know if it's you or if it's me.
Jump out and jump back in.
I
Jump
heard you
out.
at first.
I wonder what it is. Let me see. Can y'all hear me? Paul, can you hear me? Chicka chicka.
Strange.
Yeah, you sound
All right.
fine. There he goes. Yeah, Gary couldn't hear us, but I could hear him. Yeah, he couldn't hear me. I know that, Marco. Yeah, Kathleen, good, because I heard him fine. Maybe he'll figure it out. He'll get it figured out. But yeah, I really like my Hinderers. I like carrying them, and I used to not. It's just one of those things that it's funny how as you go down the knife hike, your stuff changes. What you like and what you don't like. Thanks here, Rick. Let's see if Gary can hear us this time.
I can hear you now.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, you can hear me?
I hear you fine, buddy. We heard you the whole time. That's why I could tell that you weren't hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know sign language to let you know. Usually the best thing to do, and I have to do it when I join Shane's live a lot, I guess because I don't use his StreamYard, is just jump out, come back in, and it'll fix a lot of the glitches. How have you been, buddy?
Oh, not too bad. Killing two birds with one stone tonight. I got to straighten a bunch of blades, so we're doing
Nice.
that. Probably.
Yeah, we've just been getting started talking about Hinderer knives for some reason.
Hinder.
Yes, yeah, just talking about some Rick Hinderer knives, the cost, because I thought they were still $4.25 for a base XM18, and they are. The reason we talked about them is ZT has a knife that I really like, but I can't make myself get close to 400 for a ZT that's really thin, just because I think of Hinderer at a little bit different price point. I don't know why. And to me, that's so close. Just consumer brain. So when you say straightening blades, what does that entail? You've got something over there that looks like a press.
Yeah, it's an arbor press. That when these get cut with the laser warps them a little. And so I have been straightening them all out before they go to heat treat. Because a lot of times they'll move in heat treat.
And you do that again.
Then I do it again. Now, hopefully they keep them straight and I don't have to do this anymore. This is a special granite plate that's perfectly flat.
Yeah, I was thinking, I could tell you were doing some kind of calibration, tapping it there.
Yeah, and so if it lifts up, I mean, it's getting there. This one's fighting me a little bit. These in particular have been fighting me.
So what steel are those that you're working
Klingenweks.
So does that seem harder in its raw state before heat treat than some of the others you work with? Is that why it's fighting you?
Maybe a little. No, it's just the shape of the blade, I think. It's a little bit longer blade. This is a Mako. So
yeah. So what do you got there?
And a minnow. This is a Folklore.
Okay, the Folklore.
Yeah, this is a Folklore.
So on your press over there, do you have something that's as long as the blade, I guess? It's distributing weight down on it. I can just see you pressing it, but I can't see what it's pressing.
So there's a piece of wood here.
Gotcha.
That I just put a little bit of a divot in there, a little bit of a swell. And so it has something to push down into. But it doesn't push it too hard.
Right. It's soft enough to where it's going to, like you say, straighten the blade with a couple of goes at it, but nothing worse.
But this one is definitely being a pain. Like, that's good enough now. So, yeah. my heat treater was complaining they weren't straight, and I didn't really check them the last time.
So some
So
of them come out straight as a log, I'd guess, right? Or straight as a board.
yeah, although
Like Tonga?
this model seems to be particularly not straight.
Probably due to the length, right?
The
of
length, the
thickness?
thickness, the speed I was cutting these. The faster I cut them, the less they warp. And I'm still kind of learning that laser.
So the faster you cut them, the less they warp. I would think it would be just the opposite.
No, the faster you cut them, the less heat you impart into them.
Ah, I would
Less
think
heat, less warp. Now that one's pretty good. That's pretty good.
so. Some of those come out straight, you say, from the laser, or do they all require a little press?
Some of them come out pretty close.
Because, like you say, you've got to do this process again after heat treat, part of your quality control.
Potentially. Now I'm hoping after heat treat, I just go through and they're all straight enough and just occasionally have to.
Right. But you're going to repeat the process as far as quality checking them to make sure on your granite there.
Yes, they'll all get a check. So even though I'm not grinding, well, these I actually do grind in house, but like the Makos, I don't grind them in house, but they get cut in my shop, and they get, we go around the perimeter. We grind off the laser chatter, and then they go out for heat treat. Now, last time my heat treater heated, he charged me $2 a blade. This time he's charging me $2.40. But that's still a better price than Peter's. So,
right. Is there a reason it goes up? Power, maybe?
I don't know. Mood.
Well, I mean, I would think. I mean, I'll tell you. I say that because my power bill the last 2 months has jumped. Mine, I'll just say it runs around $160, and it's been running the last 2 months, and it hadn't been extra hot. I haven't been running anything different, about 220, and I think it's a rate adjustment. And I would think that a manufacturer would absorb that, or a supplier would absorb that, but maybe they have to pass it along if it's a utility cost.
I can't imagine they have that much in the utilities, and I think he gave me a really good deal because the first time I used them,
right?
And then, and now it's. So you've been talking much about Bark River?
I've tried not to talk too much about it, but I've seen a lot of content on it because I looked at a couple of videos. So the algorithm has started feeding me stuff from the past, like 5 years ago. Interesting stuff. Hey, Paul Mills asks, how much are Magnamax Makos? Do you know off the top of your head? I can pull it up. I got it.
They're not on the website. They're not out yet.
The Magnamax isn't.
No, the Magnamax isn't. Magnamax. Did you say Magnamax or MagnaCut?
He said Magnamax.
Yeah, Magnamax is not out yet, but when it is, I think it's going to be $235.
$235 for a Mako.
Yes. The same knife in MagnaCut will be $210.
So 20, what's that? I'm not good at
$25.
Okay, gotcha. And I think a lot of people will be, happy to pay that to experience the steel. I know I will.
Yeah, I mean, Benchmade would charge you more than that for a MagnaCut blade.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And
MagnaCut doesn't straighten it on a granite plate like me.
Yeah, that's an extra service.
My laser is not super powerful. And a big laser can slice through this at a really high speed, and they would have none of this issue that I'm dealing with.
Is it not transferring heat if it's bigger? Does it do it?
Yeah, it just vaporizes the steel so fast.
Okay.
You guys don't have Wawa down there, do you?
Don't. What are the crew wares Mako heat treated at HRC wise? Christopher Hinckley asks.
I think those are at 62.
62.
I think. Yeah, crew wares are at 62. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, I think, let's go here. I was trying to get to I think you got HRC numbers on here.
Just for the I usually do for the the Mako in the new Aerosteel came out a little harder. 64.
Hey, the sharp conditioning or sharp condition is working very well, by the way.
Yeah, you get
I'm
some use out of that.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it very much. 'Cause I told you, and it surprised you that I therapeutically strop sometimes.
All right.
So I just like the way it feels. And you can tell it just feels good.
Yes, yeah, it really does. I had somebody ask me how to make it. It's like it's kind of proprietary.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think to formulate something, you don't want to put that recipe out, unlike your scales, which you make available.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different because you don't want somebody mixing it up in their garage because they might not get the same thing. Because I'm sure it's more than just the sum of the parts. You've got to do stuff, I would think, to it a certain order of ways.
And it's a pretty special. It's a kind of a boutique. Getting closer. A boutique conditioner.
Okay.
You know, you're not going to get that at Walmart.
No, and again, it's so. I'm trying to think of the word thick. Is that semi-viscous or the viscosity?
Yeah, it's viscous. It's viscous.
Right.
High viscosity.
Very high viscosity, and just it spreads nicely. And again, I'm a weirdo that likes the way things like that feel. It makes a difference.
Oh, it does, and it changes how the knife goes across the strop.
Right, exactly. It just feels like it's skating. And you just feel that little bit of it's nice. Did you hear my knife story today? About the blind lady who came in with her dog and her helper and her stick and spent 2 hours feeling knives and ended up leaving with a hatchet?
No.
It was the most wild reality thing I could see. She was so into knives, which was cool. And to watch someone who doesn't have sight like experience the sawback Bowie. And luckily I wasn't waiting on her. One of the owners was, and said, "Now be real careful because the blade." She goes, "Yeah, I know the blade's down here." And he goes, "Yeah, but that's got a sawback, so the top's sharp too." And she would just sit there and experience it, from one end to the other. She did the same thing with the axe. It's like a small camp axe that she ended up buying, but she just, with her hands kind of went over the whole knife. And I'm talking, she went from Shun kitchen knives to Bowie knives to Microtex. She just wanted to experience knives for a couple of hours today. And she was a very normal appearing. She didn't seem to have any mental health issues at all. Just a very sharp, blind woman with a very well-behaved service dog and a helper. It was just
that's probably a real service dog.
Oh, it was a real one. Yeah, it was not one that just had the vest. Because when she got oversettled by the cases, it immediately laid down, just right to her right or left, I forget which, and just stayed laying down. I think it just helps guide her. I think that's its primary function.
Yeah.
I think when she stops, it can sleep because it didn't seem to be on duty when she wasn't moving. It seemed to be crashed.
Yeah.
I put up a short today, Gary. I'll show it here in just a second. Let me find it. I've never used what I process my videos with, this Video IQ app I use. It's got a shorts little thing that'll go in and it'll take a video and it'll just suggest and pull out some random shorts, right? And one of them, I went through my Minnow video. Have I sent you that?
The Minnow video?
Yeah.
The unboxing?
No, the video.
I don't know if I saw that yet.
Let me pull this up. This is just talk about therapeutically sliced. So let me pull this up. I posted this a little while ago and it's got almost 1,000 views, but it's just me slicing through paper. And AI picked this up. Let me find it. All right, where's my share? Present, share screen. Y'all can see. There you go. And I'm sure the heat treat on this is just fantastic. Listen to that sound. Got a nice spine. Let's see how it cuts on some of this heavy double cardboard. I'm going through a double piece right now. Look at that. Shorts are weird because I link them back to the original video. I don't know how many people, how they consume shorts because I don't watch many shorts.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. That's where most of my views come from.
Shorts, huh?
Yeah, shorts are where most of my views, 80%, come from shorts.
I just wonder about shorts views too. Is that just somebody scrolling by? Oh, that's a view.
They count a view 15%, which could be somebody scrolling by because shorts are automatically activated. You know, if you pause on a short, it'll start rolling, as videos do now too, but I don't think they count those.
Okay. A lot of churches, like on Facebook, anybody that scrolls by your thing, they'll count it as a view. And so churches will report all these views. They go, oh, we got, 400 people watching online. And then you filter it by people who've watched more than 2 seconds, and it's like 38.
Yeah, right. Because and Twitter's the same way. People that stream on Twitter's cumulative. So it'll tell you, anybody that really scrolls past it gets put into that if they say for however many seconds. And to me, it's just interesting. To me, that's where a lot of my growth came from in terms of subscribers. Now, that hadn't translated like some of the other guys into long form views. Some of my videos get thousands of views, but most of them get hundreds. The majority. Let's see what that minnow showed. Let's see. $430 on the review, and the unboxing got where is it? Or is that the unboxing that I've? And then anytime I walk through that knife store, I get tons of views. It's like at 8,000 now from last week. One of them's got like 80,000 just of a knife store, a little small knife store. And it's just me walking through there showing people I'm an alcoholic. Mimo, you got to understand that's what my whole past career was in. I was submerged in it. I owe Gary analytics info just because I geek out looking at it. Once I get in it, though, I hyper focus on it. So I've got to find a window when I've got like 2 hours because I will just zone into it. Again, you can't get a lot out of it, but you can. You really can get an absolute profile on who is coming to your page. And what I don't do, but I should do, is it'll also, you can look and see which videos are driving the most engagement, and good YouTubers create videos that are like those videos. Where I just try to show different knives for different companies and the knives that I like that I'll either borrow from Knives and More and show. I reviewed a big ass ZT, this 0203, probably one of the biggest ZTs I've ever seen. It's the same. What's up, Ryan Ellis? Channel member. It's probably the same size as my Cold Steel 4Max. And it's good to see ZT get back into big knives. It's M4. I don't know much about M4. But it's they call it their Duralock. It's a crossbar lock. G10 handles, really thick steel liners. But it's a beast of a knife. Ryan.
Somebody asked, they're not Gaga over Magna Cut. Is it Magna Cut? Yeah, Magna Cut.
I'm missing it.
I don't know that you need to be Gaga over Magna Cut. It's not, most people want edge holding. And that is not necessarily that's not necessarily Magna Cut's strong suit.
Right.
So like as a user, it probably, compared to like say standard S30V, it probably has a little less edge holding. So no, you wouldn't be gaga over it because it's not. You may be gaga over Magnum X though.
But from a balance standpoint, Gary, that's where Magna Cut really shines, right? Because it
Well,
picks
like in a
up.
bushcraft like this, the Magna Cut is a very good choice. Magnum Max in this particular blade is a little less good choice. See, this one's really fighting me.
What's up,
Yeah.
buddy? Well, yeah, I've really enjoyed it because again, I'm not pushing my knives or my blades. Although I guess cardboard's pretty it's abrasive, isn't it? It'll dull a knife pretty quickly, I guess. Or will it, Gary? It
Yeah,
cardboard.
I mean, it does. It's abrasive. I mean, there's silicates in there. Yeah, I mean, it's a good one to dull your blade. I can
Yeah,
tell when I've cut a lot.
and I haven't had a lot of doling in my Magna Cut because that's mainly what I cut. We have those big recycling bins, but I don't just throw my boxes in there. I cut them into strips, just because I like to cut stuff. And I need to measure and see what the average box size is and then figure how many strips I'm cutting so I can get a footage estimate. But I never am going to be that guy uh, who can tell you how many feet. Josh, what's up, buddy? Bugsy, I sent you a link, my friend. I know you're busy. You got a birthday party tomorrow you're getting ready for, some other stuff. Had a guy come in tonight. Everybody's been looking for these cheetah cubs, this case knife that was re-released this year. And I'm amazed by how many people, older people and younger people, that come in and they're starting a collection for their 2-year-old son, where they're buying these knives and putting them just in the safe so that when their son gets to be knife age, they'll be able to pass them along a collection, which is, I think the dads do it because they like the knives, but the guy that came in today was probably in his young 30s and he doesn't open them. He just takes them, puts them in his humidity controlled safe, and is going to give them to his son. He wants to get all the cheetah cubs, which he'll be able to. But I found out the reason we sell those out as soon as they come in is 80% of them are being sold to resellers. With What's Not and eBay and the popularity of some of these case limited knives, resellers can buy them from us and turn around and just flip them.
Yeah, you're always going to have that.
I do most of my cutting inside, and I just walk out with handfuls of cardboard strips. I've got a pile of them over here because I try to keep some over where I film videos to cut through some cardboard. Gary, from what I've heard, I like Magnum X already. Yeah, I've heard great things about it too from Gary.
Yeah, I think it's going to be what people in their heads think Magnum X is.
Yeah, that's cool.
Magnum Cut has considerably more toughness than it probably needs for most people's use. So Magnum X has a little less toughness, but it's going to have that edge holding, and I think that's what people are going to like.
Right. It's going to be more performance based on the edge side and not quite as tough.
Not quite as tough, but as tough as S30.
Mimo says, "Is this the stainless K390 one?"
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one. DBK is going to get one of these.
Bugsy says, "Gary, I don't know if you saw, but you got a nice shout out on Nick Shabazz's new video."
I did see that. Yes. I did see that.
I've not seen that yet. I hadn't even seen that he had a video out.
A few people did. Erica's EDC did. Pete did.
I saw Erica had a minnow out.
Yeah. I got to send her something bigger. Like that knife is just, it's actually probably more useful to her than she realizes, but she does like the bigger knife.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's probably more Mako size, right?
Mako
you
or
could
some
even
other
bigger.
folklore.
Yeah, yeah. Folklore is kind of her around her game because she batons and stuff like that. She's also
So
big into sharpening her stuff.
right. Well, she has some of the sharp conditions. She talks about that a lot. Now here's a second. I don't know if you can see this on the camera.
Let me make you big and see if it'll pull it out.
The laser got discombobulated, or like it might have caught the sheet and moved it before I could. So you can see it tried to put a hole there, tried to put a hole there, tried to put an X there. And so we took it out and manually drilled the holes.
But that's just cosmetic, right?
Yeah, it's just
you're not gonna see
cosmetic.
that, but because that's under a scale, right?
That'd be under the scales. Yeah. Won't hurt anything. But this steel is so expensive. I think I have 30 or 40 bucks just in the steel in these blades, which might sound cheap to you.
No, that's a lot of steel for one blade that hasn't
just
had
the
any
raw
work
steel.
done to it. Yeah, just the raw material before it's turned into.
Now I hear you can get some knife kits in China that could really push that cost down a little bit, but I couldn't help myself.
I like stainless as well. Magnum Max is super stainless, right? This is stainless's.
Yes, it's very stainless. Very stainless. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's not really released yet. I really appreciate that they give it to me. Well, I also call them all the time and bug them, and
you're
send
testing
donuts.
it too. You're
send
getting
donuts up there, and or whatever. But
that feedback I would think is invaluable to them.
It is, and I'm going to get it to the YouTubers that are going to want to test it.
Right, right. They're going to actually cut with it. Hard to use.
Like for instance, I sent Pete 2 Mako, one in CPM MagnaCut and one in Aerosteel MagnaCut. I think that's going to be super useful to a lot of people. That's going to be useful to Benchmade.
Right.
To
see how they perform. What's up, David? What's up, Cheeto? Yeah, I think that'll be very, very helpful. And he does such good testing, and his demeanor's awesome. I mean, you've got great people in your corner.
Yeah, I like you a lot.
They're excited to get your product because you're pushing the envelope using different stuff.
I was excited to get connected to Pete because what Pete was doing, and Pete was excited to get connected to me because of what I was doing. So it's just a good match.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but this is tedious, this work.
That's exactly right, Mimo. Keep your K390 oiled and maintain. If that's what you want to do. I love my K390. I just got to let me break it out. I don't know if I've shown and tell this one yet. Check this little guy out, y'all. Whoops. That's my K390 Dragonfly with Flytanium scales. In my opinion, one of the best small knives. I've got a drop point in ZDP, and I've got this one in K390, the Warncliffe. And for a 5th pocket knife or just a small primary knife, it is slicey. But yeah, I love the way K390 feels when it's sharp.
I think you're going to like Magnum Max. It's a similar, kind of approach. I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial for some.
Awesome.
But I just have no use for non-stainlesses for real world work. I just don't. I don't want blades that are going to steal. I don't want steels that are going to rust. It's because stainless exists and high corrosion resistance. I mean, high edge retention stainless exists. The 15Vs, the Rex 121s, I love them. They're cool. But if I actually really got to use it, I want stainless.
And like you said, it's not that you're hating on those non-stainlesses. You don't have to make that choice because they're options that give you every bit of performance. Plus, it's stainless.
Yeah, it's not a compromise you need to make at this point.
Right. That's
I
something
mean,
that
I
Shane
enjoy
hits
them
on
as a
quite a bit.
novelty, but like if I had to go out in the woods and really survive, I'd prefer stainless.
What's interesting is I've got, because Magna Cut's not supposed to rust, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because I've got some sus Chinese Magna Cut, that's had some pivot oxidation. Nothing hardcore, but it makes me know that it's not
Probably
legit.
not Magna Cut.
Yeah, it's not legit Magna Cut.
You mean the Chinese sold you fake Magna Cut?
Well, I knew going into it, I bought it from an American company that uses a Chinese OEM. So I guess in actuality, sold them fake Magna Cut. And I bought it from them, knowing that it was probably, going to be sus. Because at the time, I'd heard Eric talking at Blade Show last year about Chinese Magna Cut when none of the guys that were having knives made in China were acknowledging that they were getting anything other than CPM Magna Cut from America in these knives coming from China. And I just could never wrap my head around the logistics of China buying a bunch of steel that goes to Riyadh. Maybe, I don't know.
They do. They can. But
Why would they?
Niagara did not want China having Magna Cut right away. So they worked pretty hard. I appreciate that. That protects me.
Sure. But it goes back to with the cost of goods being sold, why would the Chinese ever think about shipping steel into China to make a knife and ship it back for a low price when they could just get one knife in and replicate the steel close enough to where most people couldn't tell and keep it?
But some of those Chinese aren't a low price. That's the problem.
Yeah, but they are, Gary, I think. Maybe not, because I don't understand how the knife business works. But to the people that are buying them before they resell them, I don't think they're that expensive. I think they are still, if you look at what it costs, they're much, much cheaper than American-made product. And I would think it'd be really expensive to ship steel, but I don't know anything about global economics either.
Yeah. It's not expensive to ship a box of blades over there.
No, but they're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blades, containers of blades, I would think, as many knives as they're making. Now, I'm not seeing any of the big production companies. I see a lot of S45 allegedly that Kaiser's using. A lot of course, M390.
They could be. I know that one of the heat treaters I use sends over heat treated coupons to China for them to make knives with.
Okay.
So they're not all fake, but you don't know who's who,
Right. Well, one of the things that Eric said that was interesting is that he's not currently buying any Chinese Magna Cut for any Spyderco knives. But he said, with their infrastructure being so up to date compared to what ours is, there may be a day where they're actually leading in the quality of steel that's available.
It's possible.
And he said he might, reevaluate in the future. Was his whole purpose of saying that little aside about it's possible. But possible. I don't think that's ever been their model of go to market, is to make something that's going to last longer and be better. It's always been just to cut price and make it disposable.
It's usually to steal other people's IP.
Right.
There's just so much of that happens there. But to steal the IP of the steel, you need pretty expensive mills to do that, and you need a market that's going to want to pay a premium for your Chinese steel, and that's hard to do. Like there was that RPM something or other, which was like allegedly a powdered version of 8CR.
It was an ingot actually sprayed with some kind of stuff. That was Artisan Cutlery's proprietary steel, AARPM 9, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, and it turned out basically to be a hoax.
Yeah, and allegedly, again, you never know who to believe.
Well, I believe
Artisan Cutlery made a big statement about they thought, the way it was explained to them, that it was powder metallurgy. They put the whole thing off they weren't saying it's not an ingot coated with some kind of spray, but that they didn't know that that's what it was when they released it.
Okay.
But who knows? See, I don't know when you talk about it. Like I know Best Tech is a company that's not a manufacturer, but a lot of people think they are. They're more of a logistics company.
They're a general contractor.
Okay. So, but when you say a general contractor, they don't actually run any machines, do they? Don't they just help facilitate relationships?
Well, when you hire a general contractor to build a house, they don't put a roof on and they don't frame the house and they don't put flooring down and they don't put drywall up.
They just manage it, right?
They just call various vendors to do those things. Now, my dad was a general contractor and just couldn't figure out that he's not actually saving money by doing as much of that himself as he can. But
he probably started out in the old days where being a GC, you had to know how to do everything. And it was easier.
He would hang all his cabinets. He would do a lot of odds and ends.
Right. The punch stuff that probably made his houses pop differently.
Yeah. But then he couldn't scale them.
Right.
Because now you got all this work to do and you can't do two of them at a time.
You can't just manage your subcontractor flow. You got to be there.
Yeah. So
I mean, and then you got places like Riot that are actually facilities allegedly. But I've heard a lot of people say the Wii factory tour that is on YouTube is all CGI. That it's not even that you can tell. I mean, they're people that have like myth busted it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to find out and to listen to some of these people that, like Shane, the guy that's been on with us quite a bit. He has a guy who has over where he lives in Alabama, a Chinese guy whose family's in the knife business in China. And he thinks it's all under one or two roofs and they're just different. It's almost like huge subs all under one roof. So Riot and some of these companies are all kind of thrown in there together, making parts for each other. I don't know how they'd be able to do that, but the finished products comes out of there look really nice. But like I said, I won't say the name of the maker because it's it's a really good friend of mine and they make design really cool knives. But yeah, it's supposed to be MagnaCut. And ironically, it's one of the few knives from this maker that doesn't have it marked on the blade.
So in China, it works this way with knives. It also works this way with like pro audio gear, pro lighting gear. There's like a town that's like the whole town has various, like for lighting. There's a town in China that has multiple lighting companies. Each lighting company does some different stuff than the other. And, so when they want to do something, it's like a lot of your lights, whether they're really top end brands or not, are kind of coming from, like the same town.
Exactly.
And set of vendors. It's
also starting to show up on boxes. What is it? Szechuan City or something that the knives come out of?
Oh yeah.
I've seen that a couple of times on boxes recently.
But just think about it. Like, it doesn't pay every company to make their own screws.
Of course not.
It doesn't pay every company to have a burger grinder. So even
partnerships make sense. Seki City. That's in Japan, Bugsy. That's where Spyderco's Japan knives come from. But close. It's like Szechuan. I'm sorry, Jim. Shenzhen.
That's the name.
But yeah, that's what Shane says, that it's all, there's one city that's known for its knife making. Well, Italy's like that too, right? With Maniago, or what's it called? Place in Italy where Giant Mouse and a lot of those Italian companies are. But in China, I think
Asiago, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's it. Shenzhen. Thank you, Terry. Shenzhen and Guangdong, Patina says, they're two. Guangdong and Shenzhen, China. Thank you, Patina. Thank you, Terry. Helping my old squashy brain get some knowledge. But yeah, the quality that comes out of there is, I think the machining quality is done very well, but some of the products or the materials are a little sus.
They can be, yeah.
But I think it's always been like that. Probably, if you look at Timu and stuff like that.
Now here in the U.S., there's some, like the Northwest is sort of a knife making area. Benchmade's there, and Buck's there, and Kershaw's there. So we have some areas um, of the country.
True.
Pennsylvania used to be an area like that.
Well, Pennsylvania's still got a lot of custom makers per capita, wouldn't you say? Don't you
We
guys
do.
have?
Well, we also have Great Eastern Cutlery. We have Case.
Right.
We have Demco. So we still have a fair number of significant manufacturers here.
Right.
Demco's up and coming. Case and Great Eastern were classics up in that Erie area. You had Case, you had Queen City, you had Canal Street Cutlery. Like, that was all up in that corner of Pennsylvania.
Are any of them still making knives like Queen?
No, Queen did there for a while. They got bought out by the Daniels family, who had some ownership in Great Eastern Cutlery. Went to Queen, and it just didn't work out. And now I don't know if like Smoky Mountain or somebody bought the Queen name out.
Oh, I got you.
And now I don't know where or who's making them at this point.
I know they're being made overseas at this point.
I had some of the U.S. ones right, before they went there. They were good price too.
They're a good price, and they were a really good knife. The Great Eastern Cutlery are a fair price when they're dropped. I guess they're a fair price when they're resold because people are willing to buy them.
Yeah, they're a little out of control. They're not that great
on the resale market.
Yeah,
but don't you feel like the new drops are fair? I mean, they're only like
that's fair price. I think it's a fair price. They're new knives. The secondaries just, although I think that's probably calmed down some.
Kathleen, that's a good question. And I bet you, I'm going to throw it out there to Gary, those USA's areas sharing processes on the same knives, though. That's what it appears China is doing.
We do some of that. Like, for instance, the company that does my grinding for the Minnows and the Makos, that's in Kent, Washington. That's called Larkin Precision Grinding.
I've heard of them.
They now Bradford Larkin is the guy who runs that. His father ran it before him. His wife started Bradford Knives. Maybe you've heard of them.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought Smoky Mountain bought them. They're probably having them made by the same people making Rough Rider. Yeah. So like I have stuff done out there. Like a burger grinder is a $500,000 investment. Burger grinder is an enormous machine. There's two sides, basically a twin machine, one to do the one side, one to do the other. They're excellent. They're from Soligen, Germany. The company that makes the machine only makes about 14 machines a year, to give it in perspective.
Wow.
Benchmade has one. Spyderco might have one. So Bradford Larkin Precision, I don't know how many. They might have a dozen or 8 or 10. They have quite
machines and burger grinders.
Right. And so that's what's grinding the bevels. And even I don't know this. There's all NDA around this stuff. So, but like Benchmade has one. I don't think they have one. I think they have one Burger and one Siepmann, but I don't think that's enough to put out the blades they're putting out. So I am certain that you
If we've got
know,
strategic
a
partners
Larkin
doing
or a White River Knife and Tool, or somebody's grinding blades when it gets, beyond what they can
their
do.
capacity.
Yeah, as sort of like overflow, and they do great work, and it's American made. But think about how many knives you need to make a $500,000 purchase, not to mention the space for it and all that, to make that a sensible purchase to
Right. I
do in your
mean,
own shop. So sometimes vertical integration is not the most
always
efficient.
possible or the best choice.
Going back to Bark River, because I know we love talking about that. It's a really fascinating study for me as to why they couldn't make it. And a lot of it is they weren't very vertically integrated. In fact, I think I have more capacity in my shop than they did.
Really?
I don't think I'm pretty sure they didn't have a laser cutter or a I don't think they had a laser cutter or water jet. I don't think they had they didn't do their heat treating in house. I suspect they may have had an oven for like prototyping, but
Right.
they didn't heat treat in house. They didn't have any burger grinders. What they would do is get a knife kind of like the Mako, and then they would just convex it on a slack belt. So they were predominantly putting handles on pre-ground blades,
Right.
and just surface finishing and sharpening them. And the easiest way to do that was a convex, and then telling everybody that convex is the greatest grind on a knife ever.
Right. Try to sell the mystique of it.
Make it a feature rather than a bug. And look, for certain uses, there's nothing wrong with a convex grind. It's not the best grind for everything.
Right. And I would say for an EDC perspective, it's probably less than or optimal.
The bigger the knife, the more useful that might become. When you're putting lots of impact force,
That's true, Kyle.
The strength of that.
I don't know how the force joint projects, but I would think if there's cities in a town that's set up around different economical structure, it could be totally different. Be shady. What is up, brother?
What the communist government does that puts us at a disadvantage is a lot of financing and startup capital for machinery, and that sort of thing, and favorable policies to be able to undercut, basically subsidize the factory and the tooling and the making of the knife.
But doesn't the government in essence own that factory?
No, not well, not
I don't know how
exactly.
it
No.
works.
I mean, they, yeah, they don't own it technically. So there's an owner, and those owners get rich.
Well, I've met the husband and wife that run Kaiser, and they seem very affluent. They have a little get together every year at Blade Show Saturday night. They have a dinner for a lot of the YouTube people, and they're just very nice people, very Americanized, very well dressed.
Yeah.
So it looks like they've got some kind of structure there. The Maroney member for 32 months, dude. That is above and beyond. I'm gonna have to throw a man hug your way. Thank you, dude. I hope you're having a good night, brother. Yeah, the only cheeks I'll get attacked by the cat that's tried to go back on the feral side. He wants to come in and be a bully. Yeah, he's been just low key, and then yesterday he got like there must be somebody in heat or something, and he's not anatomically set up, but he still I think likes it just for sport. What's up, Bugsy?
Oh, yo, what's going on, everybody?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. Busy.
I bet you got a birthday party you're planning for. What birthday is it?
5.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, he's he's difficult this year. It's not as easy as like last year. It was like sharks. The year before that, it was like dinosaurs. You know, like now this year, it's a combination of 5 things that I can't keep track of.
Kids are great, man. Their little sponges just absorb more and more each year.
Yeah, we so his thing this year is Sonic. So we tried to find everything Sonic, you know, the plates, the cups, all the jazz, you know, the cake, and he wants we get him a bounce house
Right.
rental every year for his birthday, but they don't make a Sonic one. So
Are you going to customize, or is it just going to be? He probably won't notice that if
yeah,
everything else is Sonicized.
yeah, I'm gonna get a bunch of Sonic balloons and like big like a poster thing and hang it up on there, and hopefully that's good enough.
Oh, it will be, man. It'll be. It's the kids will love it once they get in there.
Yeah, his buddies will be there, so he'll be happy about it.
What time do y'all kick that off? Early, or is that an afternoon type thing?
We'll do 2. That way I still have a little bit of yard work to do.
I got you.
I was away for work all week, so I didn't get a chance to really catch up on anything until today.
Do you install lightning rods?
Yeah.
Dude, that picture you sent was way the heck up there.
Yeah. That one's like 160 feet. That's not too bad, but you know, anything over 30s.
It was shocking.
That's just it's a question whether or not you're going to live through that. So anything over 30, you know, it's pretty much the same difference.
Yeah, no, Dave, you reached terminal velocity long before you hit the ground.
I got a real charge out of that picture.
Oh, man.
Was that current? Sorry. All right, I'm done.
Those were 3 strung together in rapid succession, though. That was good. Dr. Drew Dude just got back from a birthday party with the
You must
bounce
talk to a
house.
lot of electricians.
What you got there? Is that a Spyderco?
Yeah, it's the Sprig. It's pretty nice. I wish they did the distal taper here though.
You see what Kyle's saying to you?
Nah.
I don't have kids, but wouldn't it be cheaper and easier to give them a spoonful of Diamond Tap than tell them the next day the party was amazing? He won't remember shit at that.
No, we don't. We're like we really try not to do any medication, so Diamond Tap is off the list.
Yeah, that's good, man. Keep it. What's that? Homeopathic?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we have a bunch of friends up here that are really into it, and some doctors and chiropractors and all kinds of stuff that are homeopathic, and they're amazing.
Yeah, keep it out of Big Pharma's hands as much as you can.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not what homeopathics per se, but I really do think like a lot of people take way more chemical drugs than they need to.
Absolutely. I mean, you probably know better than any one of us how much the Bible talks about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain drugs out there like that are just, like ibuprofen. You know, back in the day, kids would die all the time from ear infections.
Yeah.
Just because their fevers would spike. So stuff like that, that's a pretty like the alternative. It's short term. You know what it does. It's probably not great for you, but it's better than 105 fever.
There's actually like a recall out right now for children's ibuprofen, the liquid.
I always thought aspirin. I know aspirin has its own problems, but I always liked aspirin better than ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen lasts a little longer.
And it's more advanced, so it's probably better in some cases.
But like that's a immediate cause and effect, like
to bring the fever down. You're just
bring the fever down
for that purpose.
And then once it's gone, you don't take it long term. These drugs that you take long term are the ones that are really like statins, for instance, or statins.
They want to keep you on them forever. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, it's like, and then you hear these drug commercials, be like, your arm might fall off, you might lose a testicle, and you might die.
Well, yeah, the funny thing is the entirety of the
but otherwise you'd be great
is shorter than in fast speed all the side effects that they're having to read off to keep themselves legally out of the cooker.
So here's one thing that I was I kind of dove a little deep into it when my wife was pregnant. So the reason we tried for a little while to have a kid before we did, but the reason we couldn't have a kid, we found out, is because she had an infection in her jaw, and her body just wasn't allowing her to become pregnant. And a month after we got that infection removed by a holistic dentist, we flew all the way down to Texas during COVID to get this done. The month we got back, she got pregnant.
Wow, that quick.
Yep. As soon as we cleared up that infection, boom.
That infection
Yeah.
was probably God's way of keeping everything straight, you know, not just that it could be something that dumped chemicals into her blood or something. I wonder
Well, she
how
had
the
a she
body
had a
knew not.
bad root canal done 10 years ago, because the dentist will all tell you, oh yeah, get a root canal. You talk to these real dentists, these guys that you know, these guys that really know what they're doing, they'll tell you don't ever get a root canal. Don't do that to yourself. Don't remove your teeth. They're part of like the circuitry of how everything works in your body.
Right.
And the thing that worried me, and I started looking at everything, was during COVID, they were saying, take the jab, take the jab, take the jab. So I started looking into ingredients. And the ingredients for even Advil have changed. The ingredients for ibuprofen, it's not the same stuff we took as kids. It's everything is there. I mean, look at like a Snickers bar or like a Reese's used to have like 7 ingredients. Now it has like 32.
Yeah.
Ice
You're
cream
right.
used to come in a half gallon. How about that?
Yeah, I can still get them over here. Ever heard of Halo Farms?
We have it. You can get it. But you'll pay for it.
Yeah, oh, dude, it's so good. I'll pay. I don't care.
Yeah,
Best ice
some things
cream.
are worth it. Nice
Yeah.
knife and a good old gallon of good ice cream.
I got a half gallon of ice cream. I'm like, man, this stuff's lasting forever.
Yeah, does it melt though? Is it real ice cream? You see half the stuff now, it doesn't
Yeah,
even melt.
BJ, nothing's the same anymore as it was.
No.
I'll tell you the funny thing. Well, it's not funny. It's kind of scary. And I shouldn't eat these, but I'm not the healthiest lad, as you can tell by looking at me. But these little donuts that I used to get at the gas station, they're now where the package hadn't changed, but they leave out one donut. So they fall over to the side. Cause I guess because of inflation or whatever, they had to keep the price the same, but take a donut out, but they didn't change the size of the pack. It's like Hostess or somebody big. It's not a
Yeah.
small company, but it's just the screwing over of America.
It's
Gas
It's called
hadn't gotten
shrink.
crazy here.
Shrinkflation is the word.
How big
Shrinkflation.
does your yacht have to be is the question.
But like, and so now most ice cream, particularly natural national brands, are like 1.5 quarts. But now I've seen some 1.4, 1.25, 1.3. It's like, come on, might as well get a
Yeah.
pint.
Well, it's funny because, and I know it's just what they have to do or what they decide to do. The cat food. I buy this Sheba, the cats that I hang out with, and now the Sheba's totally smaller. It's a little puck that doesn't break up the same, and it's just not. I mean, like Bugsy said, they just change it. They change the game.
Well, that's like luxury cat food.
Yeah, they don't eat it all the time. They mainly have this Purina One, but they do get that, and I get no thanks from Puck. He came at me teeth bare yesterday, like a little. I swear to God, I think he's part bobcat though. I put a picture of him up, and people said they thought he could have some bobcat in him.
That's wild.
If it's a quarter, half gallon, it's still one serving size container. That's a fact, Jack. Yeah, that's the one thing about ice cream. I can't put it up once I start with it. It's very hard to put it back in the freezer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like to just get it gone. Get it gone.
And here in PA, we have a lot of local dairies. And so there's lots of options for very good ice cream. Like, so I don't even need to get national brands. Like, I know in some parts. So my son's going to school in Nashville. And so we went down there to visit school before he went. And we went to this ice cream place, like an ice cream shop, like one of the better ones. I always check on Google and see what they say. But we went to this ice cream shop. So I got an ice cream, and 2 scoops of ice cream was like $9.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, and so I got the ice cream. It was okay. I'm like, all right. So we're eating it there. There's not many people there. So I just asked the lady, you know, I was like, why is your ice cream so expensive? And she said, well, it's all natural. It comes from the farm. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that's all our ice cream in Pennsylvania. And it's like $4 for this. Like, what's going on here?
And she's like, well, we're in Nashville and we can milk people for it.
Just like, just I guess there's just not a lot of competition for that particular thing there. I mean, you can go in the Philly and the Bassett's, you know, and there's like lots of really good ice cream places around. So I guess not so much in Nashville. And they're gonna take it to you.
Mima,
Get
that
that
is,
hot chicken and expensive ice cream.
it sounds good, man. We can't start talking about food. We can't start talking about food yet. I bought a bag of air the other day and they threw in a few potato chips for free, winning. That's a fact too.
So I was saying, do you guys have Wawa down there where you guys are at? You familiar with Wawa?
I've heard the well, it's legendary, dude. But no, we've got Bucky's.
Oh, I've been to Bucky's.
Bucky's is way better.
I've never
Bucky's is
been to
different.
Bucky's.
But that's apples and oranges.
Yeah, Wawa has just lost its way. It is pretty awful at this point.
I think Wawa's still good. Wawa's good. I think it's better than that. Well, Bucky's is a whole other thing, but it's expensive, like outrageously expensive.
I like Sheets better than Wawa.
I like Sheets because their extra large diet Coke Zero is $1 less. So I
It's
go
the
there.
little things.
Well, it's $1.79 at Sheets, and it's $2.79 at Wawa. It's the same thing. You know, like what? Wawa's just expensive.
Yeah, Kyle, that sounds like some bougie ice cream. $24 a quart.
Man.
Graters, have y'all heard of that? Or Graters? I think that's Graters ice cream.
At the farmer's market, they'll sell like raw cream, and it'll say, what does it say? It says for cats and dogs only. But everybody buys it to eat.
Is it just too rich for it to be for human consumption?
No, it's not pasteurized.
Yeah.
That's the key too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That says for. I just have a problem having something in my fridge that says for cats and dogs.
I'm used to it. Back when I was gainfully employed, I would get some of that bougie. Talk about bougie cat food, the stuff that's refrigerated. But Tippy, the cat that's been with me all along, what's up, Rob's Nerdy Knives? She didn't like that stuff too much. She prefers the junk food. She takes after me.
My cat's like 19 years old now.
That's an awesome age for it to make it that long, dude.
Yeah, so this cat, when my son was like 1, there where we used to live out in the middle of Pennsylvania, this cat came to our back doors, meow, meow, meow. And so we let him in and gave him some food. He was happy, and my son, who was like 1 at the time, just absolutely loved him, laughed, and whatever. And it was just a stray cat, and so we kept him. So we didn't like go out to get a cat.
It found you.
It found me, and still to this day, Everett really loves the cat. So that's it's my son's best friend of sorts.
Is that a tried and true?
Yeah,
Steve Kalari.
Yeah, is it the tried and true? I forget now.
K390.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
Nice.
It's a nice.
It's a cool little knife.
Very slicey.
Yeah. I'm interested to get it out in the woods. I haven't really brought it out anywhere yet.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Alex Steingraber. That was a collaboration between Alex and Steve. Alex cut those out for him, and then Steve did the final grinds on them. I think the heat treat's like 67.
Yeah.
Too high.
It's probably
Gary.
Gary's got that's probably true. Again, these guys push it.
I can feel it. I can feel it flex a little, but
What happens when you run it up at the very, very top is you're giving up a boatload of toughness for just a little bit of edge holding. That's
that little bit of extra.
Yeah, you can get within, like 2 points and still have most of your toughness.
And still
But
have a good bit of the edge. You're not extending the edge retention that much past that point for the loss of toughness that you
right, the
incur.
juice isn't worth the squeeze, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
That's now the flip side of that are these guys that are, running steels, like running MagnaCut at 58. You're not getting any more toughness. Actually, you're probably getting less. But you're really giving up a lot of edge retention then.
Right.
And it doesn't sharpen as nice. There's a whole bunch of considerations there.
And they typically, are they doing that, in your opinion, to make the finishing of the knife easier, or just because it's a lazier way to get your heat treat done? And
it's not lazy. It's not any harder. It's not hard to heat treat these steels at 67. Like, there's this sense like, oh, only special people with special powers can do that. No, it's very easy.
you're just following a recipe, basically. Exactly.
Yeah, you
right?
just call out what you want. But it's easier on the tooling. So if you have a mill that's going around a finished knife or these things, you get a lot more tool life, less heat. See, it's easier to work with when it's softer, obviously. So
I'm sure he'll find a sweet spot.
Yeah, I mean, you come back a little bit. Generally speaking, about 2 points from the top is usually your best spot to be. About 2 points from the top. What is, Gary? Are you standing on
Kyle.
your FUD soapbox? Yes, I am.
Come on up here, Kyle. Why aren't you up here?
Yes, I am.
Kyle's supposed to be up here leading the chat. He actually runs these live streams.
You going to Frayden in April for the meetup, Gary?
I may. I got to put it on my calendar, or I won't. She sent me a note. I owe them a knife too. One of them had like a scratch in it or something. Not standing on my soapbox. I am sitting on my Viper chair that I got myself for Christmas. That was a $600 stool.
But you spend a lot of time in that stool, I would imagine.
Explain.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get my $600 out of it.
Well, it looks like your stack of unstraight blades has gotten much smaller.
It has. It has. And this is my last. This is my last model. So I had all these models. So these are the Folklores. Apparently, I did 68 of those.
Wow.
And then 34 of the 8-inch chefs, 267 Makos. Those took a while. Yeah, a bunch. Some of these are smaller. They went faster, but
I mean, I bet you're burning a lot of oil, aren't you? I mean, human oil. Are you sleeping that much, or do you stay up late? I don't get much.
I stay up late. I don't have to get up super early, especially tomorrow, actually. But I do get a little tired sometimes. But I enjoy what I do. I had a church board meeting last night. Wasn't too bad, actually. Sometimes those can be emotionally draining. But
I can imagine. We're dealing with a lot of different needs, right?
Dealing with a lot of different agendas.
Agenda's the word. Right.
It's more the thing, but
that's why they need somebody like you there to be the voice of reason.
Yeah, I try to be nice. I do my best to not swear at them.
You got to follow the rules. Got to follow the rules. Got to lead by example.
I've thought about
that. Is nowhere in the good book.
It's in their good book, I'm sure. Yeah. But no, it was a good meeting. It's nice when I had some problem people for a while.
Are they several hours long, or they get?
Yeah, they tend to be a couple hours. They're once a month. Yeah. I
And
try to move.
everybody's got their agenda list, and they all want to go over them, and they're most important.
No, I have the agenda, the official agenda.
Right.
They have the unofficial agenda up here.
What they want to get in.
Like they want this or that. But no, last time was good. It was good. Usually they're good. I just had a season of difficult ones for a while.
Yeah, they're going to probably be in every congregation, right?
And some more than others. It's it's culture.
Right.
There's a culture, just like every knife company. There's a culture. Yeah. The culture of some knife companies is using Chinese steel. I worked another one in.
Yeah, you did slip one in. There's a really interesting video, and I forget who it was. The guy doesn't say he's an attorney, but I get the feeling he's an attorney.
Now I saw that one. Or
Did
at
you
least
find
he
it
was.
interesting where he had all his like different laws, but then at the end he said there won't be any time served?
Probably not. Yeah, right. Yeah, I agree with him.
But I thought that was interesting, all the different ways that it was wrong. And he agreed also, like I think we all did, that the statement was probably a little premature. He probably should have held off on that.
In fairness, the statement was probably a little too transparent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I'm not for transparency.
No, but there's some things that are oversharing, right?
Yeah, like
it performed almost as well as.
Well, I think in his mind he thought that was a mitigating factor,
Right, but it just shows the intent to deceive. I find that stuff fascinating just because, it's just, it makes you wonder where it can stop. And to me, it's always makes me wonder why more people didn't notice, but people did notice, because I'm looking at a lot of these old videos from these small channels that have 400 views, and they're saying, my Magna Cut rusted on my Bark River. I don't understand.
I mean,
why.
Pete from Cedric and Otta had that issue.
Yeah. So it can't be Magna Cut, right?
No.
I had some Magna Cut rust on some of the earlier melts.
It would be like surface rust, though, wouldn't it?
It was like homogeneous problems. Like there were clumps of material that were like carbide clumps or something like that. So I did have some rust myself. So
that could be natural then.
But that was only early on.
Like one of the first
F30 rust up on me once.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice knife.
So when these are done in Magnamax, I think they're going to be $425. You think that's too much for a bushcraft?
No,
Magnamax?
I think no. I'll show you. And this probably is too much, but I was thinking about how I was going to frame this. It's too much for me, but it's not too much for an enthusiast. This little knife, this little olive Venari, is $389, and it's smaller than a Mako.
What's it made out of?
Elmax. I'm just telling you. So it's not too expensive, Gary. This I would not have purchased for myself, right? It's out of
what
I
the
would
Elmax?
Huh? Yeah, I know.
If I was in the market specifically for a bushcraft knife, and I knew that the steel you're providing and the edge that you provide, or the grinds you provide, are going to outshine somebody else, that's nothing.
Yeah, it feels like a lot to me, but it's a hard steel to work with. Yeah, when I was doing the Makos, I broke 3 or 4 of them just in the process of doing it. That's $230.
Yeah.
Each a crack. Whoops. Yeah. But I kind of don't mind that because I'm flexing it a little bit. If they're cracking there, they might have had, maybe that was a little something in the steel. So I'm kind of almost QCing them in a way.
Right.
Do you have anybody like live testing your knives out in the field? Like specifically for you, other than just like,
No. I usually give them the YouTubers, and I take them camping and use them. And for these, they'll have a standard zero Scandi, like a 23 degree or 24 degree zero Scandi. So that'll be what these are. So that'll put the Magnum X to the test. You know, to be able to deal with a, you know, that's a pretty fragile edge, 24 degrees on the Scandi. So
Is Pete getting one of those to try out?
if he wanted one, I'd give him one, but that's not really his gig as much. He's more the EDC
That's more
kind of
Erica's
guy. So
gig.
he'll get a Mako. He had a Minnow. I'll get him a Mako when the Makos come out.
Do you ever watch Cedric and Ada? Bugsy, are you familiar with that channel?
No, I don't think so.
Australian guy who tests a lot of knives, sharpens a lot. Great channel.
Dude, the algorithm's really messed up. I saw this is the first Nick Shabazz video I've seen in like probably over a year.
Me too. It's not the algorithm. Nick doesn't put out a lot of videos.
Oh, really?
He's not.
He doesn't anymore.
Oh, I thought he was still like on the regular, and I just have not been catching it somehow.
All right, as comfortable as that seat is, I'm going to go to a different one. I'm probably going to pop in on my computer, so
okay.
Heads up while I.
You won't have what I did when I tried to pop off my computer and just ended the stream Tuesday.
I'm going to try to show you guys this. I got babies in my fancy tank.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I just noticed them. You try to turn the camera around.
Did they just happen? Are they fresh babies?
They look to be about like 2 weeks old. I wasn't here all week, so. So
let me make you big.
You can probably see the mom there.
Yeah, the black and white one.
Yeah, the baby is really little right here.
I see that little black and white guy.
Yeah, the cool thing about them is they look just like their parents, no matter how small they are.
Are those real exotic ones?
Yes, these are the ones that are worth a good amount of money.
And they're ornamental?
Yeah, and they take care of they take care of the tanks. See how they're cleaning off the glass? That's why I don't scrape this glass clean. I let them do it. That's their favorite kind of food.
But why does
there's a couple shrimp down here that could be worth a couple $100.
So when somebody pays a couple $100, what's the value of that little guy? Is it to look good or is it to clean tanks? That's expensive.
Oh no, I think I lost audio.
No, I hear you. Oh, you can't hear us?
I'll be right back. I've lost audio.
Bugsy's learning all you gotta do is bail and come back. Did y'all see that little black shrimp? Oh, NFK 20, you're gonna love it. It is one of my faves. A great little guy. And I love their little taco sheath. That's a back pocket knife. And you'll freak out on the way that they did those leather sheaths. They've got a little, like a retention, a lockout point. There he is.
My bad.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
No, that's okay, dude.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what to do. You just got to pop out and pop in.
Yeah. I didn't even realize I was kind of like.
I've got one in Magna Cut and one in that PFD7 stuff or whatever, 27. I've got one in like a fancy D2 and I've got one in Magna Cut, DLC coded Magna Cut.
Does that have copper pins on that?
Yeah, it's got copper screws. They're not pins.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, they're T6s because those scales are replaceable.
I really like the copper accent on the that carbon fiber. Looks nice.
I think so too. I think it just makes it pop.
Yeah.
And the retention, man, it's got you can't see it here, but it's got this little area right here that when you push that knife in, you can see it right there.
Yeah.
It clicks in. I mean, it's got a tactical click, which is really nice.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. It's when
You'll
I'm not
love it
necessarily like paying attention to it, I can still check that off the list when I feel that, you know?
Exactly. You know it's locked in. You know it's not going to fall out.
It's kind of like my holster for my gun. Like it gets to a certain point and I can feel it click, you know?
Right. NFK 20, it's super thin too. You'll find that it's an extremely slicey little guy. But yeah, it's or you hear when I was talking about the blind lady who came in the knife store today, spent 2 hours feeling knives. It was
No, that's pretty
fascinating,
cool.
dude. She
Yeah.
ended up buying a hatchet. She had a seeing eye dog and a guide person and a stick. She was
bought a
blind.
hatchet?
She bought a hatchet, but she checked out everything from Microtex to see how they worked to a big sawback, 12-inch sawback Bowie, some Shin kitchen knives. She wanted, and the way that she experienced them was all with her hands.
Yeah.
It was intense, dude. And she was a little small Caucasian woman. It was just one of the things, I was like, I've seen it all now. I mean,
that's one of those things you just try to absorb everything because that's what she's doing, like try to, feel out.
It was so fascinating
situation
watching. She was so engaged with it. At
Yeah.
first I thought, what is this? Because she had first of all, I don't know if you were here when I talked about the people that came in with the service dog that pooped in the middle of the room. That was just kind of a dog with a service vest. Yeah. This dog, once she got over to the counter to start looking at knives, this dog immediately plopped down and fell asleep and just laid there because it knew that she'd put her cane down and stopped, that it was off duty until she turned around. It immediately got up, so it was actually doing what it was supposed to do. It was fascinating. The whole thing was fascinating. And she was so knowledgeable about stuff and she wanted to know a lot of stuff. She wanted to know about different steels and stuff like that.
Love those kind of people.
Yeah, curiosity, just a natural curiosity. Then she wanted to know if we had any arrowheads, and we said no, and she's like, where would I find arrowhead? And we told her about a couple of antique stores that have them. She was just out checking out sharp shit, dude. It's fucking weird, man.
Maybe she just got really interested in it, and wanted to figure out.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, for whatever reason, it spans a lot of different curiosities. I see a lot of older wives coming in with older guys looking at cases, and the women, I guess because they've been around them so much, or maybe they like them too. They seem just as into the knives as the guys are. And these are 50, 60-year-old people.
Was it like Bob Lovelace said that a knife is like an intrinsic tool? Like when a human holds a knife, it's almost like as human as we are, like we need these.
Yeah.
We need something to cut shit.
Oh, yeah, we can't do it with our hands. That's just so therapeutic. I mean, for me, cutting, stropping, I keep everything I buy reams of paper for my videos, but I get these coupon books every week, and I keep them behind me just because they're little. This is a new Kaiser that hadn't been released yet.
Nice. What kind of handle material is that?
It's very weird, man. It's Ultrex micarta, inset in aluminum, button top liner lock with S45 blade steel.
All right.
And it's Johan Jorson design.
I like the blade shape.
Me too. That's what I like about it. And it's super slicey. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on?
Oh, Kyle.
Surprised
I can still hear.
Wow. Look at that.
It didn't kick me out.
Hey, did you see the baby shrimp, Kyle?
No.
Does
it just look like? Does it just look like what's in your pants?
No, it's a little black and white dude. It looks like a little rice kernel that's jumping around. But Bugsy can't show it again because he'll lose the sound.
Yeah. No offense to Bugsy, but I'm good.
No, it's all good, man. It's not
so
for
Bugsy,
everybody.
I don't think I understood what's the consumer buying those really nice shrimp for? Ornamental?
Yeah, pretty much. The water is so specific, you really can't have a lot like with them.
Right.
And a lot of the fish that you might want to have would probably eat the babies.
Right.
They're not very good at survival. They're so far down the line of just being like tank bred that they don't really know to be fearful of fish or anything.
Right. They don't have any natural defenses to stuff like that.
I mean, if the fish like bumps into them, they'll jump back. But other than that,
They're going to get sucked in.
You're always saying these are not for a Caesar salad?
I mean, you could probably try it.
That'd be expensive salad.
Yeah, I mean, shrimp's expensive no matter what. I was actually thinking about starting to do like full size like shrimp, but that's a whole nother project I gotta look into.
So
I just know protein is gonna be getting more expensive and scarce, so I'm looking for a way to
subsidize
produce it
it,
myself.
farm it. I think that's cool. I'm telling you, that's your YouTube channel, man.
Yeah, I don't want to like pin myself into any one thing. I kind of want to like. That's why I did the whole like the name Bugsy Craftworks, because I didn't
Yeah.
want it to be like Bugsy Blades, because then it's like, well, why the hell is he talking about fish? You know, like
You've got a lot of really interesting, not only hobbies, but what you do, dude. Your life story from spearfishing in the Caribbean to standing up and installing lightning rods last week. That's pretty interesting stuff.
I've been doing.
And
The
they're not
lightning rod
fish,
thing.
right? They're crustaceans.
Yeah, those are. I got the fish too, but you know,
Are you freshwater in it or saltwater in it or both?
just fresh.
Just fresh?
Yeah, saltwater is a whole nother step, and it's a big step up in money.
Yeah. I did cichlids for a while, African cichlids.
Yeah, they're not super easy to breed.
No, is your whole deal is breeding them out, right? Making more?
Yeah, it's kind of turned into that, and then you know that this hobby kind of ebbs and flows. For a while there, these expensive shrimp where I couldn't keep enough in the tank, like to keep my colony strong. Now I couldn't sell them if I was selling them for $1 a piece.
I wonder what changed that. You think it's economy or just
I think it's a combination, but I think it's like once people figure out how to breed them themselves, and if you sell them a high quality product that's gonna breed and be healthy and stay alive in their tanks, which a lot of guys don't. By the time you get the shrimp to you, it's on its last leg.
yeah,
And
you
then
got to have something to.
yeah. So, but once people kind of figure out, you know, how to keep them alive, they breed them themselves. You know,
And you got to supply then.
yeah. You know, the only thing is people get burned down on it because you'll put a lot of effort into them, and then one day you'll lose a whole bunch of them. Yeah, like they're real sensitive and they get real funky. If you're you know you got to really watch your pH and your GH and KH in the water, and they're just real sensitive. But I think once people figure them out, they don't buy anymore. They just have them themselves.
Right. But they're hobbyists that are getting into it, right?
Yeah, or like shops and shows and different places will have them in a tank to show off. Like I've given them to like barber shops and I have a friend right now actually that has like a trading card store and like a comic book store.
And they're just
And
a curiosity.
Yeah, well, he wants to have like because kids come in there and his kids are in the shop a lot, so he wants to have a couple tanks set up like the Pokemon colors, like the yellow ones for Pikachu and red ones for like Charizard and all that.
Oh, that's
So
pretty cool.
he wants me to set up like a rack in there and get that going for him.
Ryan, Bugsy, I'm supposed to show you something from Ryan, so give me a second. I'm gonna pull this up. He's been bugging me to show this to you. So,
Is that what I saw today?
Could be.
Ryan,
Let's see if
I'll make you big. You can make yourself big. There you go.
why is it not showing up?
Are you trying to share a picture?
you talking about Ryan Ellis?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's not
Whoa,
gonna
that
do it
looks
either.
cool though.
Yeah,
Go to
that's
the
not,
tabs at the top. See where you got the picture.
it's not in the tab. It's on
Oh.
the set preview. That's why I'm trying to get it to actually pull in, and it won't pull in. Let me see if I can pull it in a different way. I may have to save it first because it won't pull in just the preview window.
Gary, is there like a big show on like Louisiana this week or this past weekend?
I don't know. That's a little outside of my range.
Yeah.
So I'm not aware of one. I do what, Lehigh Valley's coming up though.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why I was asking too. My buddy Ian, that's up here, he just traveled out to a knife show, but he's not going to the Lehigh show. So. And he's from PA, so I don't know.
You got plans that weekend or something going on, or just?
I asked him, and he was like, "Nah," and I was like, "Oh." It kind of seemed like a.
It kind of seemed like he just something he wasn't into it.
Yeah, well, it was kind of one of those things like you don't need to ask me anymore. I'm not gonna,
I can pull it up, Ryan. He sent it to our Insta group message, Kyle.
Yeah, I can do it that way too. I was just trying to do it through the other one.
I got you. Ryan, you got a link, buddy. If you want to jump up and show it in real time.
Here we go.
I'll make you big while you look for it. Put you under some pressure.
Pressure.
It's Kingsman turquoise.
Oh, geez, I haven't seen
Sterling
that.
silver.
Oh yeah, I've
diamonds.
actually seen one of those. That's cool.
There's veins of silver in the turquoise.
That's a William
That's
Henry.
awesome.
Is that a William Henry?
Yeah.
The silver veins in the turquoise are awesome. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like.
Diamond stud.
Yeah.
A diamond stud?
They're diamond button with a button lock.
Still can't see
Yeah,
it.
there's a little inset stone.
Do you guys have any William Henrys?
Yeah.
I have one.
I
have
don't
none.
need two.
I was just flicking around with it before.
I've got a friend that's got some though, Ryan. I got a bougie buddy, and I got Bugsy. I think that's just gorgeous. Those little seed-looking things, or whatever those are.
Yeah, it's like a little flaw in the jade.
Little void almost.
Yeah, I mean it's not like you can't feel it, but
Has anyone seen Aiden? Has he been in here tonight?
I have not, but that doesn't mean he's not been here. But I've not seen Aiden.
Okay. Well, I had something I was going to share, but I'll wait and maybe do that Tuesday if he's here.
Aiden,
did-
you in here? Show yourself. We got people in here who aren't chatting.
I did get a couple things, not for me this week, but we're in for transportation.
Show and tell.
even the liners are like Makume or whatever this gold brass Makume shit is.
I have something like that. I forget what's in that box, but I have that box with that logo. I forget what it is.
You're about to be familiarized. You'll remember as soon as he shows it.
This one is an Eclipse Skinny. That Bowie that Brian did a regrind on.
Ooh.
And
Nice
regrinds are dangerous business.
Well, Brian's one of the better ones.
Yeah, he's good. But that is so skinny. That looks as wide as mine. Show it sideways.
Yeah, it
again.
looks
What's
thick.
the skinny about it? The blade stock and the liners are
I
skinnier.
believe this one's a skinny. No, this one is not. Sorry. Take it back.
Those are clean grind lines, but those are coarse grind lines.
They're
Probably
maybe
super low pressure, right?
Tell
like
my
full
man to
step.
go down to like at least like a 265 grit on that.
well, those are he wants it to be a two-tone with the stock finish. Those are probably
That's still
80s or 120s.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a knife like that, I would want a little higher. Right. To each
So
their
there's,
own.
Yeah,
there's
that's
that
great.
one. Yeah, I mean it goes from
But they're
stock.
clean lines.
He goes from being stock, 25,000 to he's sub 10,000 on those regrinds. They're nice. And then this one,
What did you charge for a regrind?
I think 110.
Oh, that's a steal.
I know. Here you go, Javon.
Oh, that's one of those 1095.
XM24 vintage.
Nice.
So what's that scale, Kyle?
It's a wood.
Walnut.
Just
Yeah, that's the only thing that I would say about this knife is that the wood scale leaves something to be desired. It's not the greatest.
It's pretty straight grain.
And it's soup being that thin, it's kind of flimsy and cheap feeling. It feels almost imitation like
balsa.
Yeah.
what is it? Tool steel, right?
Yeah, I wish that screw sunk in now.
1095. Which
I don't like
How
that
do
the
you like
pivot's
it, Kyle?
proud.
it's cool. I like the idea of it. I like the knife itself. I mean, I've got a XM24 myself, but I dislike the price point that they're charging for it.
How much is it?
They're actually more expensive than the regular XM24s. These are $6.25. When they're S4
flipper in 1095 with a wood scale,
and their S45s are and Magnet Cuts are $5.95.
Oh,
No, $5.95.
Now that's a factory knife, right?
Yeah, they did a limited run. That's why they did, because if you saw the back, it had a number on it, so they're a limited batch. That's why they charge more for them.
Kyle, have you had a 2.5? What's it called? Not 2.5.
3.25.
Yeah, have you had one of those in yet?
I have not.
Did Kyle buy 1095? No,
I did not. I did not, Drew. That's not for me. That's just passing through.
Yeah, Brian's a very, very talented maker and modder.
Were your abrasives able to handle the 1095, or did you wear out a stone?
I actually didn't even sharpen that one. That's not even getting sharpened. That's just a pass through for someone. So
Are you proxying it?
yeah.
Or did you photograph it?
No, proxied it.
I got you.
I may take some photographs of that one though. It's a cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool. And I like the vintage look of it, but I just don't like the price point for what it is. That's all. But
this Hogue Misto that I got recently, I'm just really pleased with that knife at that price point.
did you get the tie?
No, I just got a G10, black G10.
I just saw someone's making scales for those now.
I'm fine with G10. I like it just fine.
I think it was AWT is making scales for the Misto now, so they're aluminum.
Okay. Yeah, I just, man, what a great value.
I mean, it's a really nice knife. I can remember 2 years ago when they launched it at Blade Show, one of our buddies got one and would go up to every table and say, "Can you believe how much this knife was?" I think it was.
That was a K390. That was the Hogue K390.
Oh, was that a different one?
Yeah.
My bad. I can't remember. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah, it's too much shit, man.
Too many knives.
Hogue something or other.
Hogue's kind of a mysterious brand to me. I've got a couple of Ritters, 3 actually, and then I've got 2 Decas, a Warney, and I've got Gen 1 Decas with different scales on them.
This might be the best sharpening I've ever done.
Let's see. That's not what I'm gonna do.
This thing is so toothy.
What'd you sharpen it on?
I got a little Wicked Edge Go system.
Oh, that's right.
But this was, I had that one done just right. These are kind of a pain in the ass on the Wicked Edge because of the way that the jaws grab the blade.
Hey, did you get me my free TS Prof yet, Kyle?
No. Here's the Misto scales, the ones that they're doing aluminum. Obviously they do different anodization than Cerakotes, but
So is that knife bigger than the Deca?
Different.
Different? I mean, it looks different.
Thinner. It's thinner, maybe a shade taller.
I got you.
And that's a good price point too. They're only doing them for $70 in comparison to their other ones are more expensive than that. So that model is they're introducing cheaper. So I thought it looked cool and it was neat because I'd never seen anyone doing those Misto scales before.
Oh, they're nice. Although now it's a $210 knife.
Still cheap for what it
Yeah,
is.
still for what it
You
is.
gotta look up Ian's Instagram. The knives he brought to the show this week are sick.
I saw them. I saw what he took.
What's this site name?
AWT, Applied Weapons Technology.
Yeah.
AWT. That sounds so tactical.
This might not be popular, but I've decided I'm not a fan of the Para series for a working knife.
What happened? Did you break one?
I broke too many tips, man. Tired of it. On simple stuff too. Simple cutting tape off of a ground wire.
Side loading them.
No, I mean even just like the tip. If it gets down in between the wires, because the wire's thick, gets down between the wire, it just snaps a little tip right off.
Well, I mean, I could be a jerk. I'm not going to, but that thin of a tip is not necessarily. That's not its main purpose. Would be to do that.
That's what. Well, for me, that's like 80% of what I use a blade for.
I get it, buddy. I'm just saying that geometry on that tip is not.
I know that's what I'm saying. I've decided I don't.
I
don't dig it.
Yeah.
I agree. It's not necessarily a work knife, but it doesn't. But I hate it when people are like, "Oh, it's a bad knife because those tip will break off." You didn't say that. You didn't say that.
It's just
yeah. But people are always like, "Oh, well, the Yojimbo sucks because the tip's so fragile." Well, how are you using it?
Yeah, the Yojimbo is designed for flesh.
Yeah, sticking into watermelons of people. Big time.
Yeah.
PM2 Shaman.
Yep.
Yeah, the thickness is night and day. Have you seen the Shaman lightweights yet?
I haven't used one.
We've got one in stock. It's 181 in BDP. What's that steel, Kyle?
Ugh, BD1.
Yeah, but it's an inexpensive knife. So I was wondering if 180 was a good price because the blade looks the same thickness and the scales.
Is it new?
The scales are FRN, but they're looks like a different kind of FRN. It doesn't have the little bi-directional lines in it.
That's not horrendous, but I would not get that. I'd much rather just find one in a better steel you use and pay the same amount for it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought I didn't know that much about the steel, but it just seemed to have it at that lower price. Here it is, CTS BD1N. Here it is.
Yeah, this is the workhorse, man. This thing is the full serrated.
Oh yeah,
I can't find a better pocket knife than this.
Was the Sage? What is it?
Shaman.
Shaman. Okay.
See that scale, Kyle?
Hang on 1 second. Yeah. Is that FRN or is it that peel ply?
I think it's FRN. Let me see what they call it. Hold on.
I mean, I would give it a shot. I don't like paying that much for anything really, but as far as knives go now, like I'm pretty. If I'm spending more than $200, I'm getting something like a Holt with Damascus or something. $1,600. Like I go from one extreme to the other. Like I can't be bothered when I can get this for $40, beat the hell out of it for 2 decades, and then get another one.
Lightweight black FRN with pebble texturing. So it is FRN. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, live.
Yeah, I mean, so here's a brand new Shaman Salt MagnaCut G10 for $220. So why would I spend?
Yeah, that's $30.
Yeah, that's
$40 more.
Where it's at.
Most definitely. Is that the new price?
I don't know. I just saw that's what I saw it for.
Big fan of the Caribbean.
Is
And
that
that just
LCN
does.
200?
Yeah.
30 minutes to said faction, Neil said.
Yeah, that's
We
what
got
they said
about
last
15
time, and then
minutes.
it was like an hour and 20.
Thanks, Neil.
Neil,
No,
that shows Neil's engaged. He's just here to get over to said faction. I don't blame him.
he's
That's usually when I serve an ad.
So when you go from the shaman with the BD1 to the shaman with the S45V, it's a pretty big jump in price, it looks like. Map 238 versus map 180.
But if that's $40 and you're getting G10 and
No, I'm sorry,
S40
283 versus 180.
Oh, so $100.
Yeah.
So for me, I would wonder if it has the same, like this feels like a fixed blade. This does not have any, there's no wiggle, there's no flex, there's
It
nothing.
feels just like it. I was thinking
That
first thing I
BD1
thought,
in, or is that the Fort Spy 27? What steel is that?
This one?
Yeah,
Just S30.
that's 30. Oh, okay.
It says it's serrated version though, and it is nasty.
Tate, the guy I work with, was telling me I need to get a full serrated knife. I should experience one. He says there's nothing like it. He's got a Spyderco police.
Yeah, so a lot of times what I'm doing with this, with the serrations, is I'm like digging through something and I hit like that felt that a lot of people put down, like in a garden. There's that whole like layer of felt they put down to keep the weeds from growing up through all the stuff. Cutting wet felt with anything other than serrations, dirty wet felt, is almost impossible.
Really?
Yeah, it'll dull anything in
bind
a
up.
minute. It just I guess like the mud and sand combination with the wet felt, it's like trying to cut through sheetrock.
Where serrations kind of make that a lot easier.
Oh yeah, the serrations just butter right through it. I'll wipe them off.
Think of it, Bugsy. Think of it this way: if you've ever done any woodworking, the teeth on a saw blade, that's why you have a rip saw and you have a crosscut, because the teeth are different widths and patterns. So going against the grain versus the grain makes a huge difference. So when you have more room between the two teeth, like on the serration, it's easier to displace, technically felt or mud or whatever, sawdust in the blades, for instance. So that's why it makes it easier to cut through that, because different type of material. And
I find that the smooth edged blades, they just slide along it.
How often do you have to sharpen that, Bugsy?
I've only sharpened this once, and I only sharpened like this part of it.
Do you just use a rod, or what do you use to sharpen that?
I'll use the wicked edge, and I'll just kind of turn it and get
okay.
the
So you're
edge
getting
of
the little corners.
Yeah, and it's kind of like when the way they do their serrations, it's almost like a chisel grind. So like the backside's almost flat.
Yeah,
it should be.
So right here, I put a little bevel there because it was a little bit thick. So there's a little bevel on this backside, and then whatever bevel they put on they originally.
Very
a
nice.
lot of times on serrations too, if you look, go to the back first, not the actual serration side, and a lot of times it'll start to have some deformation going towards the back, and if you flatten the back, it gets sharp again.
Yep. Yeah, I got some.
You don't even have to
listen.
To run up and down the serrations.
Yeah, you know what? So this is what I've been trying to get every knife maker to do. So I don't know if you can see this because of the reflection.
Big. Hold on a sec.
You see how this last serration?
Yep.
Almost functions as a sharpening choil. Why not make all sharpening choils a single serration?
Good point, Kyle. Why not make a sharpening choil?
That way, as I'm pushing down into something, it doesn't get stuck in there and not cut.
Because you got
actually get stuck in there and cut through whatever it is.
Would it still be a functional enough sharpening choil?
Yeah, it's the same shape.
Well, not everyone has the same cutting purposes or tasks, but I see what you're saying.
I hate choils. Hate them.
Because you get material caught in there and it stops your cut.
Yeah, if I'm hanging on a rope and I got to lean back and cut something with one hand under pressure, I'm pushing down on this angle. Because if you push down on this angle, it just slides off. Push
Well,
down
you
on this angle.
You need to recurve.
Well, not see. I can't. I don't want to carry specific blades for specific tasks. I need something that's going to be able to do
I just meant
anything I can ask of it.
It'll hold your cut better though.
Yeah, but this is what like this I don't have any problem with. But say I used like even a Sabenza, the way that it's shaped back here, it just slides up there. It doesn't cut unless I then go from this angle back to this angle and come back across the blade edge again. But if that last sharpening choil was just turned into a single serration, nothing can get cut. It goes in there, it'll get caught up into that piece, and then you just push down, it'll cut it. Because a lot of times I'm cutting a lot of ropes that have all the little tiny ropes inside, basically, like all the different little strands.
Little cordage, yeah.
Yeah, and if it doesn't make it through it, now I'm struggling because I can't. Yeah, when you're hanging off of rope, you don't have a lot of ways to be able to put pressure on the bottom of what you're trying to cut.
It changes the whole game. The dynamics of the game are way changed. Where you can put pressure.
Then you start swinging and twisting and spinning if you start messing around too much. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah, if you're hanging 120 feet up, I guess you don't want to be spinning.
Like, see this one? No sharpening choil. And I love it. Because it goes back here, and it's got no choice. It's still touching sharp blade.
So anytime you go back and hit a flat or a choil, you're having to change your direction of your cut.
Right. Or I might, and it depends, too, if it's wet or if it's snowing or if I'm covered in concrete dust. All that comes into effect with the blade. That's why I don't like the Mannix. I've had issues with it.
Because of the debris and stuff getting in it?
Yeah.
Bugsy, has anyone ever told you that you're doing too much?
I try not to.
He's an overachiever, man.
But they make me do stuff.
He's putting on a 5-year-old's birthday party tomorrow, Kyle, at 2:00 with a bouncy house.
I already gave you my idea for that. The kids aren't going to 5-year-old, 4-year-olds aren't going to make a birthday party. Just tell them they had a great time and move on.
Nah, we're all got like redheads in our genes, so good luck knocking us out.
If he didn't tell him it was his birthday, he wouldn't even know it's his birthday.
But you don't know though, his birthdays are for the kid or for the parents too. To solidify those memories. Rob's Dirty Knives on it. But Rob, all Bugsy's saying is he's got to find that tool. He doesn't have the luxury to really do that when he's out on his jobs. He needs a knife that'll kind of cover those bases.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not saying it's the perfect EDC. He's just saying it needs to be something that's more flexible for what he does. Hanging up. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Yeah, and I would just sharpen up my own choil and turn it into, a single serration, but I don't really want to get that far. I just won't usually buy a knife that I have an issue with. Like most of my knives end up looking like something like that, where it just goes either to nothing or like the mule, where it just goes straight back to the, what do you call this? Picasso?
Yeah.
So on my Mako, this is an unsharpened Mako. Now what we usually do is we sharpen it, and then we run it straight back into that plunge. Then we clean it up with a round wheel that gives it ever so much of a choil, but not really a choil, just sort of a dip there. But the other thing we do sometimes, well, what I used to do is I would just sharpen the whole way up, even around the plunge. And so but I had to hit it just perfect or else it gets recurved right there. But that's a really tricky spot on a blade to sharpen or to figure out how you want to terminate it. But I think with that, though, you can be sharp all the way to there. But if you get to there, you ran out of blade. So what do you...
It's about leverage at that point.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that the choil gives you some kind of if it were a serration, it would give you somewhere for the pressure to go to one smaller point instead of being spread across the whole area. If it gets back into that back section and you still have something left to cut and you can just put that little bit of pressure on it, it should cut. I mean, theoretically.
Yeah.
Real use scenarios.
You got 3.5 inches of blade and you don't need the last 16th to do it.
See, like this is another example. I don't like this. I would not carry this as a work. I know it's
because it goes right off the end.
But yeah, it'll go right off the end into a spot where it cannot cut. It can't. There's nothing you could do if the material's in here to make a cut.
Except take it off and start again.
Yeah, unless you change angles and hope it gets over this little hump, and then you can slide again across the blade. But usually, you don't get too many shots. So
you got to make it count when you're up that high.
Yeah, and as soon as you cut something, you have to also retain that. I can't just cut it and let it fall. So I have to, my hands are full. You don't get a whole lot of. It's not very easy to do. It's not like I'm standing there on the ground.
To show that every use case can be drastically different. Where you're, you find the right tool for the job, like ruling out the PM2 for what you're doing. You will find that knife that's going to cover the basis for you. And it might not be the knife that covers my bases because I'm a city dude who's opening Amazon packages, mainly in cat food bags. I just broke the cat fight, by the way. That's what I had to do. I saw the yellow cat. I've got this cat. I call it Cheeto because it wears a flea collar that says Cheeto on the neck, and it's yellow cat. But it was sitting on the porch, and I knew that meant Tippy, my other cat, was stuck in the tree over off the front porch and walked out there, and it was just like, wow. And Tippy just didn't care for it. And the wild bobcat's still out there. I'm nervous about him, man. Like I'm telling you, he came at me yesterday.
John, don't let him in the house. It's that simple.
You don't understand, Kyle. He's been kind of a partial family member. He's just got cranky issues.
All right, then get bit and don't complain about it. One of the two.
That's the thing. He fake bites. He doesn't come at me with any kind of force. He's just showing aggression, which he should not be doing.
He's going to eat you, and I'm going to laugh.
If he was bigger, that'd be a problem. Or if he keeps growing, that's going to be a problem.
I heard cats don't even wait an hour to eat you if you pass away in the house.
I've heard that your dog would starve to death by your body, and the cats won't even wait for you to get cold.
Yep.
Hey, Josh.
Never heard about cats.
Yeah, they're the apex predators, man, in the neighborhoods.
Yeah. And you know what's weird about house cats? How come they have slit eyes and all the other cats have the round eyes?
It's a total mystery, dude. They're the only, because they're aliens. I mean, that's why the Egyptians worshiped them, man. They came down the first spaceships.
Oh, God.
But did you know that, Kyle, that house cats have vertical slit eyes and big cats don't?
Usually when if I look at I'm not going to say that out loud.
Oh, man.
I don't care for cats, so I could care less.
I know you don't.
No, but it's pretty interesting, though. They have, like, reptile-style eyes.
Exactly.
All other cats have the round eyes, like
It's kind of like what you've seen pictures of aliens' eyes.
Yeah, like that reptilian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, how far are we from said faction?
About 12 minutes.
All right, guys. We're going to have to bail out of here. Give everybody time to go to the bathroom. Gary, you got any parting words, my friend?
No, I don't think so.
And we didn't spend too much time talking about Bark River.
Yep.
There's some really good content out there, and if you watch one piece of content, you'll get served up a lot of old content where people were having rusty magna cut, which Gary said could be natural and normal from the first pour.
So there were some early runs where there were some anomalies in magna cut. Yeah, I experienced some of that. Although the rust would be limited to where the anomaly was.
Right.
So
And
you'd
I
see,
don't
like,
know
a
if
little
this
dot.
guy specified because he didn't have the rusted specimen. He was just talking about his experience when he did the review and all the people jumping on him saying that he was wrong.
Well, everyone wants to have an opinion, and when as soon as there's controversy, everyone wants to make a video on it and talk about,
Not this
Well,
kid.
The Bark River group was pretty. There are a lot of pretty heavy-handed fans in there.
Yes.
They were very ready to jump to the defense of anything.
Sure.
Like more so than others. It was on Blade forums like that too, to some degree. I used to get in tangles with Mike Stewart all the time.
Yeah, that's I heard something funny today. I'll part on this. Y'all know Anthony Marfione?
Yep.
There's a group on Facebook, a Microtech group, and Tate, the guy I work with, got banned from it a couple of days ago. And I said, why'd you get banned from it? And Marfione went through. There's evidently a page. I don't know if it's on Reddit or where, but it talks about Anthony Marfione, all the negative shit about him, from his improprieties in his personal life to all the other shit that's more public. And
That's
so
that's gonna be a long page.
it is. Well, he unsubscribed everybody. He banned everybody that he found out. He went and found out who was subscribed to that page.
Of course he did. He's petty.
That's ridiculous, though, dude. You know what's
He's petty and he's litigious. He's a
Wait,
complete...
didn't he like sue his son or something?
Yes.
Yeah. But Gavin
I
kind
can't-
of gave him an attitude adjustment.
Can't imagine that.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging. I'll see y'all at Said Faction. We will rally up again on Tuesday night. Hopefully you guys will be here. But until then, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Use debate, not hate. I love you guys.
Peace, guys. Later, Javon, Gary.
Later, guys.
Kyle.
See you.